4. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the EG Pot of Thunder with your boy, the young light-skinned Key Sweat. Back for the 50th episode of the EG Pot of Thunder with my guys and females. Guy first to my right.
Hello, everyone. I'm back again. Jesus Claus, 50th episode. Well done. Hey, everyone, give yourselves a round of applause. 50 episodes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers to that.
Yes. Cheers to that.
Salud. 50th episode.
50th episode.
Wow.
Many more.
Hey, many more. I'm back with the Natalia Perez.
Hello, friends.
Also, the Monopoly View. Go give her a follow and a shout out. And back, actually, first time you guys have seen her, the EG Pod of Thunder, who get a queen herself, the gorgeous Clara.
Ooh, hi, I'm Clara.
Hey, and guys, you know what's crazy? So like, we all have kind of like unique names here. Have you guys ever dealt like with someone just like fucking up your name all the time, and you're like, yo, it's really not that hard?
Yes.
Can you just fucking say my name?
100%.
Absolutely.
No?
Bo is so easy, dude.
Oh,
two
two
letters.
letters.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
B-O.
That's not
If
too-
you can't, if
that's
you
not
can't
too
figure that
difficult.
out, that's a rough one. But you guys, I imagine it happens quite a bit.
Yes.
But you would think it's like Natalia is so fucking easy. I remember one time me and Natalia were somewhere, and the guy just met her, and the guy's like, "Okay, Natalie," and she's like, "No, Natalia." He's like, "Okay, thanks, Natalie."
Natalie.
Again, and I'm like, it is not that hard. Like, it ends with an A.
Not a
Literally,
E.
A.
He's like,
Like, it's not an E. It's a...
he thought you were a white girl for some reason. He's like, look at her trying to put some stank on her name. All right, Natalie.
No, you know what's crazy? Because she's like, "No, it's Natalia," like kind of like rude, and he's like, "Okay, Natalie, thanks." It's like, bro, are you?
And I'm just like, okay. I just be like, bet, bro.
Like, you did that on purpose.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah. How about you? You must get it often? No, or a lot? Never? Or
Me?
You?
Oh,
You.
bro, people for some reason, they never know how to pronounce my name because they feel like they should put a Spanish accent on it. So they're like, is it Clara, Clara? I'm like, whatever you want. Just say Clara. Like, it doesn't matter.
Are you at the point you're like, I don't even care?
I don't give a
anymore.
fuck. Also, another layer to it. So most people that I'm close with, they call me by my middle name, which is Caroline. So that adds another layer of confusion. They're like, who are you? What do I call you?
And you're like, you know what? I don't even know who I am. I don't even know.
Yeah, whatever feels right, whatever the vibe is.
I mean,
it's her alter ego.
Yes.
oh shit. Do you prefer like a certain name? Because I call you Clara.
Yeah.
Do you get like offended if someone call you Clara? Or are you more like,
No.
like entwined to Caroline?
I
or?
don't get offended, but I do prefer Caroline just because I grew up with everybody, like my family, calling me that. But if you call me Clara, I'm not mad at you. I like it better with a Spanish
I didn't know
accent.
Caroline was an option.
It is an option, yeah.
Oh.
Sorry. I didn't
I'm
disclose that
sticking
earlier.
with Clara.
Okay, that's fine. But as long as you say it with a Spanish accent, Clara.
Clara.
Oh, I've never
Yes.
said.
Calling you Caroline.
He's like too much Spanish
Sorry,
for me.
too many-
No, too many syllables.
I can do it,
Don't
Clara.
Clara. There you
I've
go.
never said Clara before. Now I gotta say it. I've always said
Sorry.
Clara.
Clara.
But you never corrected me.
I don't want to.
No, you just like fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it. That's fine because it's too
Very
many.
fluid with it. Yeah.
Too many options. Whatever feels right.
Dude, I'm the same way. I don't even care no more. Nobody ever says my name right. I'm just like, whatever you want to call me, I don't give a fuck. Efren. I don't care where Efrain comes from or Efron. I don't care where Efron comes from at all.
Yeah.
That makes no sense. People spell Effie wrong all the time. They spell my real name wrong all the time. It's on like my email header. It'd be like EFRAIN.
I had it saved in my phone for incorrectly for at least my first year or two of knowing you.
Okay, well,
I had it spelled EFFY.
Oh God.
I don't get when is that called?
Yeah.
Where?
I don't know. I was like you were a cartoon character. It was
And you got into St.
there's
Ray
no way
with
that's
that?
a person. Yeah, there's-
Except anybody.
just goes to show you like, the caliber of
How do you
person
pass
they're
the
accepting
spelling
at
test?
Saints.
Hilarious.
But I get that shit all the time. But even more confusing though, and it's when I respond to someone like, "Hey, this blah 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 blah. My title, Efren Greco," and they respond back, "Okay, thank you, EFRON." Bro, my name's in the email. How do you
F
fuck
right
that
on.
up?
Me too, though.
That
That's happened
shit
to me too.
beyond confusing
Yeah.
to me. I don't even get it. This is what we're talking about in the 50th episode. People spell my name wrong. You guys probably still spell it wrong. I have friends who literally thought my name was my real name's Efi for the longest time. Did you think that?
No. No. This has to be some kind of shortening of something. There's no way his parents called him Effie.
Yeah, no,
Well, this is gonna be a little bit like just like a short interlude to the next part of the podcast. I have Brandon for the second part of this podcast. So guys, go check that out. Me and him get into it one-on-one about our relationship and growing up. Him kind of being like my son, me being like a father figure to him, like a best friend. So definitely check that out. It's gonna be the later half of this podcast. This is gonna be like a quick 10-minute episode, and then we'll film like a long-term one. But so just being the 50th episode and being your guys, you guys, not Clara's, it's her first time. Glada's first time. So yeah. So like, what do you guys think of just the podcast itself? You guys being a guest, just wrapping up this 50 episodes that we've the journey we've been through, and you guys been on a lot of the podcasts and future podcasts haven't came out yet. So Bo, I mean, what's your thoughts?
You
on
go first.
The podcast? Yeah.
I mean, I'm very happy you decided to you just decided to jump in and do this, because this is I've watched podcasts for a long time. I'm a big fan of a lot of different podcasts, and I've always wondered how difficult is that to do, to just sit and monetize your relationships with your friends. And I'm glad you've you've decided to do that. I'm kidding, but at the same time,
You make some money somehow, bro.
I'm kidding, but
Good way to
Get the bag. Get the bag.
no,
I
I've
got sugar
always
babies all over the
wondered
place, so
We're exploiting your friends.
I love having, I love just random conversations with people that last 2-3 hours, and to make that a form of entertainment. It is actually genuinely unique and cool, and I've always wondered, could I do that? Could I be entertaining for an hour or so, and to be given that opportunity and to be able to do this with you? It's been really cool, and I'm glad it's having the success it has.
thanks, bro. Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I think I can say that you have been a home run hitter since the first episode. You have been a supporter, favorite. I don't like saying fan.
Home run hitter.
But home run hitter right here. You have definitely been since the first episode, the first segment. You have literally killed it. People literally thought we scripted that. I'm not sure if I told you that. People are like, who came up with the script? I'm like, bro, there was no script. We literally off the top, me, you, and Jay. And it's crazy because you don't even.
That was
know
a
Jay
great
like
episode.
that.
No, that was my first time really
Meeting
actually
him.
sitting down and meeting Jay.
And we literally hit it off. It was pure comedy. On my profile page, you have a video to choose what you want to show, people coming on your page. Is that clip.
Wow.
Because it was that genuinely hilarious and honestly, my opinion, comedy gold.
First
the fact
episode?
that it was improv. First, well, no, it was episode 15, but first episode, me, him, and Jay sitting down together, they never even met.
That's
and
fire.
So
off
just
each other.
Damn,
Just
vibe.
off the
Genuine
cut.
connection.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was
I'd
fire.
love to do more episodes with Jay, or really just hang out with Jay, outside in a regular setting. That'd be
Can
pretty
we be
cool.
best
Yeah, we could be friends, dude. If you're watching this, and I know you are.
Hey, he's got a job at Revival. We can go visit him whenever. He's always working.
Oh.
Oh,
we
let's
can
go.
visit him.
Yo, I love Revival.
We-
Okay.
we
Wait,
going?
Jay, yeah, let's go.
Let's do it up. Let's do it
Let's
up.
go.
Jay,
You'll see
we'll
us
be
at
visiting
Revival
you.
tonight.
Hey.
Tonight. I don't know. But Jay's supposed to be here. He's in here in spirit. I try to get him on the 50th episode. He's working a lot. He's working 2 jobs. So, Jay, you're in here in spirit. You're one of my favorite episodes. Obviously, you're on my clip. So, Jay, you're my guy. And it was a great episode. Yeah, so, Natalia, what's your thoughts on the 50 episode journey I've been on? And you've probably been on 10 overall. So, you've been on 1/5 of these episodes.
Honestly, I'm just really proud of you. I just think that it's giving people a platform to share what they do, their experiences, their goals, their aspirations, and just to give people a little clip or a little view into what they're all about, which I think is really dope. I think it's great that you're giving people a platform to promote themselves, to promote their businesses, and a lot of people wouldn't even do that. Who takes the time to sit down with people and actually is interested in what they're bringing to the table, what their interests are, what their purpose is in life, and you're able to share that in such an authentic way. So I'm just proud of you, and you've always been a people person, but to see
Definitely.
that get into this type of space is really dope. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense too.
Yeah.
For you
Yeah, and
specifically.
I just
Sure.
see it like, and it's so genuine. You know what I mean? Like, you're not getting anything out of this. If anything, you're putting more work into it because I know it takes time to edit these videos. It takes time out of your day to even just sit down and have these conversations. So I commend you a lot, and I'm really proud of you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, thank you. No, like I've always been like genuinely interested in people's thoughts and ambitions. I feel like I can learn something from everybody. So like when I'm having these conversations, and like Jerry was on with Chris the last 2 episodes ago, and like during the breaks, Jerry was like, cause that was more like on Chris, and Jerry was like, bro, like I'm sitting here thinking, what are you gonna say next? Like if I'm you, I have nothing next, and then you're just next topic, and you're genuinely like making it a segue, and it's so perfectly like intertwined. He's like, I don't know how you do it because I couldn't do that shit, and I'm like, I don't know. Like first of all, like I'm interested in the conversation, so I think like you're genuinely interested in someone's like point of view and stuff like that. Just like having a conversation, but with the lights on, you as you guys know here, and you guys all been to my house before, and you're like, this is where you do it, like, so just like being behind the light, sometimes you can be like starstruck or like camera shy or anything like that. So it's definitely a lot doing that, producing, directing at the same time. But I generally like this. I don't know. I've always been like a tech guy, people person. So it's just like all my attributes into one. And yeah, I genuinely enjoy it. And yeah, I think it's like cool to put people on because you never know who. I mean, we're being streamed and viewed in a whole bunch of different countries in the UK, Russia, Belgium, France.
You said Portugal,
Brazil, Canada, India,
Fire.
Toronto. Oh, I said Toronto, but LA, like New York,
Worldwide.
Florida, literally,
International.
yeah, 250,000 overall views on all platforms, and IG accounts and TikTok accounts that I've reached has been over 350,000 accounts.
and
Fire.
far more to come.
Far more,
yeah,
no, for sure,
absolutely.
appreciate
Fire.
it, and it's like that's like cool, like that's just cool. Like people are like, oh, I've seen your podcast, we don't even know, but like, I would love to do. Like I took a picture of someone who watched my podcast in Florida because I had like the NFL Fan of the Year on, and she was there, and she's like, oh, that's your podcast, can we take a picture? Something I'm like, I was like, oh, yeah, hell yeah, of course.
Cool.
That's dope.
Yeah, just stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
it's cool. Like, I would never like FaceTime anybody. And it's cool stuff like that. It's like that's cool stuff that comes with it. Like this part is like the cool part. Like, it's 10 o'clock at night, and like we're coming through, and I appreciate you guys coming through. Like, I generally love having vibes with everybody, and I think I have a good time. Like, just mingling, interacting, new people. Like you meeting like Clara, like you meeting Bo, hanging out. Like you never know what friendships can be
Making
made.
the connections.
Yeah.
And I've known you for like, it's been like over 10 years,
Crazy.
which is crazy.
Yeah.
And like, that's just the type of person you've always been. Like, always a good vibe, always wanting to make new connections, and like just learning more about other people, and like just learning different like points of views and everything like that. Like, this is who you are. And like, that's just so like, that's just a cool ass fucking like concept. And it's very wholesome.
No, thank you. I appreciate
Yes.
that. And, like I appreciate that, and like, yeah, and I appreciate you coming on, taking your time out of your day. And that stuff like I don't underappreciate neither. Like I know for me, like this filming takes a lot, and like you guys can be sleeping right now. You guys be doing that, getting ready for tomorrow, getting ready for work, doing your own thing. So like I'd never take it for granted when people come on. That's why this 50th episode, I want to have 2 of the fan supporter favorites, Natalia and Bo, introduce a new guest. One of my good friends. I enjoy, every time we hang out, we have a great vibe. Always. I appreciate you, and I'm there for you for no matter what, no matter through thick and thin.
Likewise.
Thick. Sometimes same thing on the time. I said last time. Like we go through our rocky roads, but then we always come back and appreciate your friendship no matter what.
Exactly.
It's family.
Yep.
First and foremost, I've known you, like literally, we've known each other since diapers. So you stuck with me for life, bro.
Our lifers.
We haven't even posted that podcast yet where I gave her a shout out, gave her my roses, and I cried in the podcast, and Natalia didn't cry.
I was, you know what it is though? Like I was in shock.
Sick of it and Chuck.
I was like, oh my God. ¿Te sientes todas esas cosas por mí? What? You feel all that for me? Like it was like really unexpected. I was just like,
Wow.
My heart.
And you were a little drunk.
And I was a little
And you
lit.
didn't cry.
You know what it is though? Like
I can't cry
I
either.
can't cry.
Me either.
I cry by myself.
Well, that's
Yeah.
the, that's
I'll
the
cry
thing
by
about-
myself.
Like I cry. I cry for
I
sure,
cry.
but I cry by myself.
Yes.
Effie doesn't shy away from embracing his emotions.
We love
He's a-
that.
He's a
And
true
love
modern.
that.
man.
Love that. No,
appreciate that.
love that because a lot of men aren't able to connect with their emotions.
We
or
love
they're
that.
like very like insecure about that, and
They shouldn't
I
be.
don't think they should
You
be.
can,
Not
you can
at all.
just,
We
you
love
can
it.
at me. You can say my name.
Hey, I cried.
It's because he's a Capricorn. That's why. I guess.
No, it's not the
We don't
reason.
cry, that's why.
My
Oh,
ex would
I
say
can-
it is, but it's
Hey.
not.
But I mean,
cried
like
me
I
one
can
time.
agree because my moon
Yeah, I
sign
did.
is a Capricorn, so maybe that's why I didn't cry.
Your moon
Yeah,
sign?
that's what it is.
I'm a
Oh,
moon.
my moon is a Virgo.
Oh.
I'm a rising,
Oh,
that's
I'm a
my
rising
That's even
Leo.
bro. That's even worse
That's
than
my
a
I'm a
rising
Capricorn, rising Leo, Virgo moon.
Well,
Virgo moon.
but you would think that I would cry
Dead ass,
though,
bro.
because I'm a Pisces sun, and Dike we're emotional, but I'm not.
Wait, what's your?
I don't know what
rising?
any of it means, but I know what I know. I have a pretty good idea.
Natalia knows my signs. I don't even know.
think
I don't
we're
even know my own
twins.
sides.
Wow.
Maybe.
Oh my god, I said it to you. I don't remember, but I already told you you're a Sagittarius.
Oh yes.
Yo.
I'm pretty sure Cap is in there too.
Yeah.
I
What?
cried.
Like
I
Earth
mean,
signs?
and,
I think so. Yeah.
Effie in his like chart, I think it's a Cap too, but I don't
We're
remember
very
the
close
last
to one another, Sag and Cap.
Yeah, we are.
I'm sorry to hear that, buddy.
Well,
I
I'm a Pisces.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
we
Sun.
love it. Just like
Pisces sun.
just like Benito.
Exactly, that's what's my.
Yep.
I'd be feeling him like
Exactly.
for real. All the vibes, I'd be like, yes, Benito. Otra vez, por favor.
Uh huh.
Speak to my soul.
So I yeah. So all that being said, I cried with you. I cried with El Ray. And you know what's weird? I did not cry with Brandon, which I thought I was going to. But yeah, I did
I
not.
thought you
though.
were going to too. That conversation, like, it all of a sudden took a turn. Like, we were having just a normal conversation, and he's like, "Yeah, man. Well, as a brother," and I was like, "Oh, we're going here. All right, okay."
It gets deep, and
Yeah.
and that's also what I really like about the episodes and the podcast. You really like touch upon everything. Like it can go from real deep, realness, and then it can go to comedy, like in like 0.2 seconds.
Take it to that level.
Yeah, for
anytime.
sure. Like I have a comment on Apple Podcasts. It was a 5-star review, guys. Get that more 5-star reviews on Spotify, Apple, YouTube. Thumbs up, subscribe, like that. It really helps out the podcast. But one of the reviews on Apple was that we can go back and forth between comedy and like serious real quick. And the podcast with Bo and Jay, it was from serious as fuck to joking to serious to joking, and it's like
Emotional roller coaster.
yeah, and that's what like
But we love
We
it.
took you for a ride. That
I
Yeah.
know, but that's life.
It makes it exciting.
It's literally life. Though.
Yeah.
You
Literally.
go through everything. You go through
Yes.
the happy, joyous moments, then you go to your lowest low. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it can happen just like that.
Exactly.
And that's what I do
Yep.
for girls' relationships. So if you like that, follow your boy Explore with F on IG, TikTok, Twitter, and everything. I'll bring in that roller coaster real quick when I go through those emotional roller
Come
coasters.
for a ride.
Come
Come
for
for
a
a ride. Hey, and
Shake some ass.
so yeah, no, but really though, like yeah, no, I genuinely love it. It's dope. I love having people on. Me, like I've always been the guy to like introduce new friends to each other and like that good vibes. And I definitely think this has been me. And like a shout out to Jerry. He's been on the podcast a couple times. Then he said like after that podcast with Chris, he was like, bro, I better not see you like stop doing podcasts because you're getting too good at this. He's like,
Yeah.
I want to see
Yeah.
you like flourish. Like, don't ever like stop for a girl. He's like, because I'm telling you right now, but he's like,
You won't though. You
I
for
definitely
sure.
won't. But like,
you're
he's like, I think like you're literally that
That's just
genuinely
not
good
Effie.
where like you can like get like serious. You get
yeah,
sponsored.
for real.
He's like literally you're gonna like shout out to Jeff for telling me that off cam, but he was like you're getting too good at this point where like just don't stop for nobody because I can see you getting places, and like I appreciate I always appreciate those comments from people, so that's why I'm saying it now. Like that shit like resonates with me, and I appreciate you, Jerry. I appreciate like you guys for those comments, and yeah, no, like I appreciate you guys coming through, and but I don't appreciate you not crying when I cried because I was like a bitch.
I'm sorry.
You made me cry.
I'm sorry.
Even though I don't remember it.
I did have the shades on though, so like I did tear up a little bit, but like it didn't like
it didn't happen then.
it didn't
happen.
it didn't go down. It wasn't a whole like, but I did tear up a little bit. But I had the shades.
I think the twins cried, and you didn't cry.
What?
Yeah, the twins were like, Jesus Christ, and then
I
you're
want
over
to
there
cry.
like, oh, we can get into it. If you guys want to.
She said I want to
I'd probably
cry.
cry if I was there and everyone was crying. I'd cry.
It's impossible to make us cry, though.
I
You
can
gotta
hold
try
it in
hard.
pretty good, but if everyone around me
Same.
starts crying, I become an emotional wreck.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
That's why
like
I
I
had to do
said,
the-
I was genuinely shocked, and like when I'm genuinely shocked, like
Emotion shut off.
I'm very delayed with my emotion, like with my reaction. So
Yeah, no. So that's the 50th episode, guys, for this segment right here. I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate the Naty Perez, the Monopoly View. I appreciate Clara coming on. I appreciate
Jesus Claus.
Hooketa, and Jesus Claus. He's looking for sugar mamas.
Oh,
No, he's not. No, he's not. No,
Hold on.
no, he's
He's
not.
looking for sugar mamas. So if you're rich, slide in his
Oh,
DMs.
no.
He's not, but he's also looking for sugar babies.
not yet.
Yeah, well, not yet. Oh,
I'm also not. No, that's also. Don't do that to me. No,
if you're looking
I'm not
for sugar-
spending money, and don't spend your money on me.
But when you're looking for sugar babies, I'll slide in your DMs.
Okay.
So guys, follow
Jesus.
all
Noted.
3 of them. Four of them to the Monopoly View. And make sure you like, subscribe. Tune into the next part of the podcast. We're also going to have my guy, Alain Moist, the best videographer around. He's coming on this 50th episode right here. Bo's actually going to be on this. So if you have a change of
Goddamn right
clothes,
I am.
the
gonna go
technology
change my
nowadays, he's going to look different this episode next. So also follow my boy, Alain Moist. I don't know what his Instagram is off the top of my head, but he's the best videographer around. He's actually moving to Miami. Spoiler alert. I got the approval to say that. So if you're in Rhode Island, make sure you book him now because Natalia knows. Guy's a beast. He's so good.
so talented, so talented.
Talented as fuck. He is literally the best. If you need him for weddings, if you're getting married, let him know. Bo, getting married. Natalia, married. Clara,
I'm not
maybe
getting
getting
married.
married. No? Okay. All right.
Shooting a porno.
He's
Not that either.
He already said he's not doing porns, OnlyFans, but he'll lead you in the right direction.
Okay.
He'll give you all the everything you need. He'll give you the ring lights. He'll give you everything you
Yeah.
need.
He'll
he
set
says.
you up for success.
He doesn't want to be in the room to smell it going on.
Yeah, he doesn't want to have you.
He wants no part.
It wouldn't be amateur porn. It'd be real deal porn. Alan.
wow.
To make you look good.
Hollywood
Make you
type
look
shit.
good.
100%.
Oh, wow.
She knows. He's good.
He's great.
He's good at videographer. So like it's too much. He'll lead you in the right direction. So make sure you follow my boy Alan. He's coming on next. Tune in. See what he got to say. That's my guy. Gonna see him in Miami next month. We're going to the Cleveland Browns game in Miami together. Shout out to my guy.
Shout out to Alan.
Shout out to Alan.
Hey.
We'll come through. Make sure you tune into the next part of the episode 2 with Brandon. Thank you guys for coming on the 5th episode. Esh, get it, baby. Four. What's up, guys? Welcome back to the EG Pot of Thunder, the 50th episode with my guy, returning guest for the 50th episode, Alan and Films. Almost threw me off. New Instagram name.
I had to change it real quick.
Why did you change Instagram name for?
Cause searchability. Just wanted people to see my name. Obviously, they see my first name and last name, but they don't know I necessarily film.
You want that A right in there too.
Exactly.
Pitch at the top.
Yep.
Oh, it makes complete sense. Hey, what was it before? It's like Alan.
It's just my name.
Yeah, it was just
Dot
Alan Moise.
Moise. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's it.
it's more like this is what I do and bring in the name.
Exactly.
Makes a lot of sense. And we're back with my guy, _ Jesus Claus.
What's up, everybody? Happy to be back for the 50th again.
Yeah, he has been on both. And make sure you guys tune in to the next part of this conversation with Brandon as well. It should be a good one. And yeah, so I just want to have you guys on for the 50th. We talked about it last time with Clara and Natalia. But Alan, you definitely had a big part. You know, you are a videographer, cinematographer, as people know. If you guys are fans of the podcast, he's been on the podcast a couple times at this point. And you've definitely helped me out a lot with the lighting questions, any type of questions for the camera, because you know that's your forte.
Yeah.
So anytime I had literally any type of questions, you're the guy every single time. So yeah, just being on, like, what's your thoughts on like the podcast, and like this was your first podcast you ever been on too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like, what was your thoughts like coming on, like being a guest, seeing like the background scenes of a podcast? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
It was smooth. You guys ran things very, very cohesively. Everything. I mean, the first episode, it was smooth. We did it again. It was smooth.
Did like 5 more that day.
Yeah, we did a lot. That was like 3 or 4 hours. We was just flowing. So everything was smooth, and all you guys have done is up the production. So congrats.
Yeah, no, for sure. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's crazy because when you first came on, you're like, this is just going to be like your first setup. you're gonna continue like evolving. Like your overlays are gonna like, well, you didn't say it like that, but like your overlays are gonna change what they have for me. Yep. Like the background changed, the mics have changed. Unfortunately, the lights have changed. I broke one at a podcast at a session with doing Mike and Alex is actually I meant to pull the power strip. Yeah. Pulled the entire thing. The lights came and smashed on the floor.
Happens. Yeah. Part of you got charged to the game. That's it.
What happens?
Have you had stuff like that happen to you? Like when you're on a set and unexpected things you weren't expecting happen to you?
I was doing a shoot for my brother actually for his he just proposed.
Hey.
And we went to Newport Cliffs. It was something like that. And then I was doing pictures and he went to go and change his outfit real quick. And he was taking mad long. And I'm just like, yo, hurry up. So I was like, just not paying attention too much because I was worrying about the sun setting out of nowhere and trying to change my lens. Mind you, the cliffs, it's literally the cliffs and then the ocean.
Right.
I take off one of my lenses. Oh, shots are amazing. But I almost lost the lens. I took it off and it just fell out of my hand. Oh. And then it started to roll towards the cliff. I jumped as quick as I could and grabbed it.
Jump off a cliff.
Literally. If I would have just pushed if I would have went like a foot further and like slipped, I wouldn't be here today. I swear it was an L. Yeah. That's it.
That would have been tough because you told me that story when I was telling you. You guys actually both know my drama. I've not said this on the podcast yet.
Oh my God.
I was sick.
I was here that day.
I hurt for you.
I was here for the searching in the car. He's like, can you look on that side? I'm gonna.
And at that point, it's like that point where you already know you lost it, but you're like, I'm gonna keep checking. It's probably just gonna pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I checked for like an hour, like before he got here. That was probably like the 50th time I checked. Damn. For those who don't know, and nobody knows, I've not said some podcast yet. I went to go take some shots from my boy Angel, big guest in the podcast as well. And I usually have like my carrying case with me. This time around, I'm like, you know what? I'll just put it in my sleeve from my sweatshirt. I put my lens, my Sony lens, in my sweatshirt. It's like, oh, who knows? Maybe I need to switch out the big lens for the smaller lens so we can take a close-up picture. Didn't even end up using it. Lost my lens at this football game at UMass Dartmouth. Sick. I was so sick. Bo was here for the witnessing of me losing it. Like when I noticed I lost it, and then Alan had a whole debate for like 2-3 days. He was like, giving me advice what to do, what lens I should get next, comparing lenses, what's like compatible to not spending the price because Alan knows the videographer life is not cheap.
Not at all. Not at all.
And then you made me feel better though because you're telling me that you just upgraded your memory card. And you want to tell the fans that. So people are telling you, hey, Alan, can you take me a shot? Take some pictures of me real quick. I'm about to propose to my girl. I'll give you $50.
No. I'm cool. I'm not going to do that. But just...
So they understand why you're saying no to $50, $100. Just tell them how much this memory card costs. The card and the holder.
The card costs $350. Just for a memory card.
Memory's expensive.
It's crazy. The people don't understand. Storage costs a lot. Yeah. Memory card. Then you need somewhere to store it. You need an external drive. Or you need more space on your actual computer. It's not cheap. And then the reader to actually read the card was another $150. Like, you guys don't understand.
That's just the memory card portion of it. Then you got the lenses. You got the rig. You got your lighting.
Batteries.
Everything.
How many batteries do you bring to a set?
It all depends. I got like 15.
15 for one set?
I have 3 cameras, so it depends.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a music video, how long would a music video typically take you?
On average, for like 3-4 hours. On the shorter end, some of them longer. You'll blow through a bunch of batteries depending on which camera you use. And then I have like external batteries too, so like V mounts. So it just depends.
Yeah, so when people, they'll see the podcast, they're like, hey, like, people have come on. Like, you have an episode from April that has not released yet.
Yeah.
And people, like, who last week who are like, hey, is my episode coming out soon? And it's like, it's tough because, like, I feel bad because they took their time to come out.
Yeah.
But do you want to give people, like, a little bit the background? Like, the podcast people don't understand. Like, this is what the 50th episode kind of is about, to give the details and background of it. how much editing takes. I mean, we've had this conversation before, but we have new fans now, new people tuning in. Bo's on. He has a following too now off the podcast. People are tuning in because Clara and Natalia is on this one. So, you know, we're gonna have a lot of new viewers. How long would just editing? You know, how long is edit like a music video, which is what 5 minutes typically.
Music videos usually like 3 to 4 minutes.
And how long does that take you?
For me now, I can get it done in 4 hours if I wanted to. I won't do it in 4 hours just because there's other projects to work on. But you don't want to rush to it at the same time. You want to take your time, and then you end up getting like better ideas when you take your time instead of just rushing the whole thing. Obviously, you have a treatment, and then you go through it. And if all the shots lined up with the treatment, it could be as quick as a 2-hour edit. But on average, like 4 hours.
4 hours.
Going back. That's just the first draft. You go back. You got to chop some things up. Send the first revision. Can you change this, that, and the third? Got to go back, edit that also. So probably like between 4 to 6 hours in total.
How long you say for like a wedding?
That's big.
Oof, weddings are long. Probably like 10, 12.
And that's but
just,
10, 12 hours you're dedicated. You're not going nowhere. Like
Nah.
it's like you're at your job.
Nah, it's not continuous.
Continuous. Oh, so like you're saying like 10, 12 hours total.
Total.
Yeah.
That's like you're going.
That's
through,
that one project. There's also like there's maybe 2 hours dedicated to that project, and then moving to something else that's going to take another 2.5 hours or something.
Exactly.
It's like there's
Weddings
a
are-
lot that goes in.
Weddings are different too because you got the film aspect of it, but then you also have the audio aspect of it. So you got to match. You got to sync all those together. You got to go back, and you're filming an 8-hour day. So majority of the time editing is going through that 8 hours of footage and chopping up the best, close to
meaningful
life
stuff.
Exactly.
So when it's 8 hours, like you said, 8 to 10 hours total. So like how long is like days wise that take? Maybe like a week. You said you're breaking it up. So maybe you do like a 2 hours one day, 2 hours the next day, and
Depends. It all depends on the workflow. I mean, like the projects that I have in my backlog. I can do it in a day if I wanted to, and it's not necessarily like 8 hours. I just give myself 8 hours.
Gotcha.
Just because I'm not rushing, and I'm
What's
also
the
doing
time?
things on this, like doing other projects at the same time.
Gotcha. What's the time frame you'd give someone though? So I say my wedding was October. It was
7
on
weeks.
Halloween. 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
So that's So that's all that point being like 7 weeks. You just give yourself that time because you don't want to say, "Hey, I'll do it next week."
No.
You know you can if you really were gonna do it.
Yeah.
Like if you put the time, like, all right, I'm gonna do this right now.
Easily.
But you give it 7 weeks because you don't know what's gonna pop up. You don't know what people are coming up. What's more urgent or what's not urgent, and so I feel bad when people come on, but it's like, hey, like I'm trying to get in, bank in as many podcasts as I possibly can. If I travel, if I'm not here,
Yeah.
But that editing does take a while, and that's a lot of things people don't understand. Like having a podcast, being a content creator like you are, your page is in the background right now. We're gonna get to that maybe the next podcast, but like just coming up with these content, like these 90-second reels, takes a lot longer than what people think.
Yeah.
It does. It's not that simple. Like it actually takes time, and you're doing that while you're making like the actual product for the client, and then you got to go back and make some content for yourself,
Right.
And then making that it takes a while. Sometimes like you'll see like a 10-11 second like reel, and you think like, oh, that took no time. That joint probably took like 30 minutes.
Minimum. That's easily minimum. And like when I first started doing them, it was taking me like, I was always like, part of like, I knew like Adobe Illustrator, like kind of familiar with Premiere, stuff like that. But like, I was still taking like different like point of views. I'm like, and YouTube and videos, YouTube University, and like, oh, what can I do to cut this up, make it look different, make it look cool?
Yep.
That's the hardest part at first when you're coming up with your ideas. And my reels have definitely evolved, gotten better, getting more views now, getting your opinion with it.
Yep.
And just that's the hard part now. Well, originally the part now is easy. Now I'm like, oh, I put up a reel today of the twins, and that took me maybe like 20 minutes to do.
Yeah.
And it's just like, damn, all right, this is easier now, but still at 20 minutes, and I have to continue putting out reels if I want to explode and get bigger and get more eyes on the product.
Yeah.
That 20 minutes turns into just 1 hour a day just dedicated to the Instagram page because you put up 5 a day. That's an easy hour.
Exactly.
TikTok, and then it's TikTok after that because you have to do both if you want to blow up.
You got to touch every site too.
And now I didn't even know this, and Brandon's like, "Are you doing shorts?" I'm like, "What the hell is shorts?" And he's like, "That's YouTube's reel." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
Yeah, YouTube
That's right.
Shorts is it, man.
And those are blowing up too. Those are getting monster views now.
Yeah.
And then what would you like? How would you rank them? What's more like? If you're like, obviously you're a content creator. Are you doing real shorts, TikTok. So what's like how would you rank them in like priority?
So TikTok probably number one because TikTok is like the wild card. Like you can literally blow up off of you have a good piece of content talking, and then boom, you blow. People go to your podcast now they keep watching.
Yeah.
So TikTok number one. Instagram is just everybody's there. So I'd say number two. Yeah. But it's a close number two because YouTube Shorts YouTube is just hard to grow on overall. But
sure.
like
it's gotten a lot better recently though, specifically with the shorts. It's like it's getting kind of it doesn't match TikTok yet. Yeah. TikTok has like their algorithm is
ridiculous.
Something crazy, yeah. But YouTube, because of the shorts, that's gained a lot of traction. More people are starting to use it now, and those are the YouTube is probably going to surpass Instagram within the next year or so in terms of just like they're getting really good at like getting eyes on stuff that like getting your stuff to people who like that,
who like
what you do. Yeah,
exactly. Unlike Instagram where they're not even showing you. I don't even see some of the stuff on the podcast. I don't see it until like 7 days, 10 days later.
It's crazy.
I'm like, oh, I didn't even see this. Like I'm trying to like everybody's stuff, and I'm not even getting to see the content that I like to see. So
it's nuts.
I know people probably don't even see my stuff too.
But then you see like somehow you see like a girl's ass on like World Star. It's like, how the hell? It's like it pops out of nowhere. We're in the podcast yesterday, and Clara's looking at my phone because I'm like trying to see like I don't even know what I was doing. But she's like, what is that? There's some girl brushing her teeth, but it looked like she was like dripping cum in her mouth, and it's like, it's like I don't know why that's there. But then meanwhile,
the algorithm knows what you like. Dude.
Well, I don't see Alan stuff, and I'm always trying to like Alan stuff.
Hey, listen. I just got in trouble for that right before I came here.
It's kind of like a similar situation.
No. That's why I was like 5 minutes late. That's because I just got into this conversation with my girl.
Oh, what you like? That's why it's coming up.
TikTok algorithm. She's gonna laugh if she see this. We just talked about this.
But what was the same kind of similar situation? Like some girl was like shaking her ass, and you're like,
so she was watching something on TikTok, and she was laughing. She was like, oh, I like this. Like some dude had some tattoos. So she was like, oh, those tattoos are mad fresh or whatever. So I was like, what tattoos you talking about? Because I was editing. And so I went over and I seen it. And then it was like, the tattoos was dead fresh. I was like, oh, this is clean. And then I was joking with her. And I was just like, oh, yeah, this is what you're looking at. You looking at niggas' tattoos.
You got to throw it right back at
so I was joking with her. And then she was like, no, like, I don't be watching that type of stuff, like whatever.
Right there.
And I was just like, you see it. And she's like, nah, it just popped up. Like it's fitness stuff. So she's, she's a personal trainer. So I was just joking with her, and then she was just like, let me see yours. And I was just like, nah. I said, nah, you're not gonna see it because you already know it'll be like you already seen it. Because last time she was talking about, oh, all you ever see on your TikTok is like ass shaking and all that. And I was like, that's not true.
Not true. You might get a lucky roll for like a good 10 minutes. You got the normal stuff, the sports, the video games, all the stuff.
All I be watching is mad like, dog videos, mad like dog and animal videos that be just having me crying, and then like some Trinidadian and Jamaican like and Haitian like comedy. So she's like, oh, let me see it. So I was like, all right, whatever. Boom. So I'm scrolling. Nothing. I was like, you see? And then nothing. And then some girl just standing there, bro. She was just, she ain't doing nothing. She was just like standing there and like trying to look cute or whatever. And then she was like, you see?
What is this?
I'm like, it was like literally 1 out of 20.
Right.
It's that 1 out of 20 gets you in trouble.
Literally, she's like, that's 5%. So you be on there 5%. You on there 5% looking at girls. And I was like, but she wasn't even shaking her ass or nothing like that. She's like, that's even worse. She was just standing there.
Shake some ass.
I was like, it just happened. Like I'm not looking for it. It just popped up.
It just happens.
It'd be that World Star sponsored by Britney's Booty. It's like, God damn it, Britney's Booty got me in trouble. The 5%. Thank you.
5% right there.
But shorts is definitely big because Brandon was telling me that like obviously the shorts pop up. People are most likely gonna click your page after. Then they see all your YouTube, your podcast. So I definitely have to get shorts more. I posted one clip of Carl actually, and did pretty well. Carl actually did a lot of shorts of his podcast with Bo actually, and all his stuff got like a couple thousand on all of them. And I'm like,
I've been slacking on shorts. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too. And it takes 2 seconds. Yeah, after after you already made the reel, all you have to do is put it on YouTube now.
Man, I've been slacking on Instagram in general. I just be editing so much that I don't feel like the energy to go and put it to myself.
That's the thing too. Like when people are like, I have so many podcasts that like even you've been on a couple where I haven't put up a lot of reels. It's like I'm trying to put up a few of everybody. Then I have a full-time job. trying to hit the gym, I'm traveling, so it's like tough to put everyone's reels up, and I feel bad, but like just like you said, it's like damn, like I need some like for myself too to enjoy myself before I go like crazy because it's a lot of work.
It's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, it's like it's cool like Joe Rogan. You think Joe Rogan's doing all that stuff? No, he has a director, he has a team.
Yeah,
You got a nice team.
he's got literally like several social media guys probably.
Yeah, so it's it's a lot. It's a lot, and I'm gonna wrap this one up so we can have a full on podcast. I appreciate you coming through, helping me out, and anytime I have questions, you're always there. You're always helping me out, and I appreciate you coming through with Carl,
Yes, sir.
with Diego that time, Nano, El Rey. It's all good vibes, and I'm definitely come out to see you in Miami in a couple of weeks.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be a good time. We're getting into the next podcast if you want to tell your story, and so get him now while he's here. He has like a week left,
Yeah,
so
you ain't even got a chance. It's over.
took too long. You
By the
slacked.
time you see this, he's gonna be gone.
Yeah.
Yes, so it's over. We'll be in Miami. He'll be taking shots of me going crazy at the Dolphins game.
Yes,
He has some good premium content. So, not for sure. So, maybe do you have any last words for this 50th episode, Alan?
Hey, keep going. Don't let this 50th be the last.
You're definitely gonna keep it rolling. I'll bring my portable Shure mic. We're gonna have a podcast at the stadium.
Don't let it.
That shit's actually clear as hell. The
Yeah.
portable ones for the iPhone,
I believe it.
clear.
I believe it.
Yeah. You said your last words before, but anything? This is gonna be the last time they see you on this episode, Bo.
Tune into the next one. I'll be here.
You will. Let's get it, baby. Yo, what's good? You're on the EG Pot of Thunder, the 50th episode, baby. Let's get it.
What up?
Yo, so 50th episode, my guy Angel Sanchez. Oh, what's good? What's good, Hassan? Hey, let's get it. Hey, you come on too. So you're on the 50th episode. I'm gonna put you over here real quick so you can see this.
What up?
Yo, so my guy Angel, he's out here balling. UMass Dartmouth.
He's out here balling, dude.
Oh, he is going. Yo, my guy's putting in work this season. And I called it. I called it beginning.
I've seen the highlights.
Yeah. So, shout out to you putting your thing in, or you're putting all your work in. I'd love to see that shit. You're my guy. For sure, man. I'm glad you came through. Put your commitment on the EG Pot of Thunder.
Thanks for sure. I had to.
Hey, and you're putting your work in UMass Dartmouth right now. So like, So like, what do you have to say about your season right now? What's your thought process on like the next step for you?
I mean, right now we're just taking it one game at a time. I think we 6-1 overall right now, first in our conference. So just taking it one game at a time. Pretty much. We start the playoffs pretty soon, but like I said, one game. We got 3 games left in the season. Offense is doing good, defense is doing good. So.
Yeah, man, you're definitely a big part of it. You're definitely what's your stats right now? I mean, I know you're balling out. The game I went to, you had 2 official touchdowns, 3 you mossed that kid, but it didn't count because you're a lineman, fucking guy. But so what's your stats right now?
So I think I have 32 receptions for 765 yards and 6 touchdowns in 5 games out of overall 7.
Hey, you're balling out, man. I love to see that. I love to see guys from Rhode Island balling out. And
appreciate it.
Now for sure, man. And you've been a big part of the EG Pot of Thunder. You were a guest host during the summer. A lot of that not released yet. So if you have any words for the EG Pot of Thunder, so like, what's your thoughts on the EG Pot of Thunder so far?
Hey man, everybody keep tuning in, subscribe, do all that. Keep in, with my boy Efi. He got a whole lot of new stuff coming up. So just stay tuned in.
Hey, for sure, man. I appreciate you coming through. You're one of my guys, one of my young guys. One of Brandon's good friends, and like I said on the podcast, I appreciate you coming through. I appreciate you like putting that work in, and that friendship we formed through Brandon, which is dope, man.
Yeah, for sure. Appreciate you for having me, dog.
Hey, for sure, man. And let me know I can't come through the regular season because I'm traveling to New Orleans, but let me know about the playoffs. I'll come through.
For sure, I got you, dog.
Yeah, for sure. Let me know, and I hope continue the season good, and let me know about the playoffs.
All right, bro. Much love. Appreciate you.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the EG Pot of Thunder for the 50th episode with your boy, the young light-skinned Key Sweat, here with my brother, my literal brother, Badufo.
Beautiful.
Oh,
I gotta change that. I gotta. God damn it! I gotta fucking reactivate my old Instagram. But yeah, for now, beautiful.
wait, you have your old Instagram, you just haven't reacted?
So it's deactivated. It? I haven't got around to reactivating it.
Why the hell would you just reactivate it from the beginning?
I've been lazy. I gotta do it though. I gotta do it.
You have a lot more followers on that page.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I gotta reactivate it. It's gonna take too long to gain those followers back. So
yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's why when I had the podcast, I reached out to Alan. He's on this episode actually of the 50th episode, and I was asking him like, "Hey, I'm gonna start like a travel page, not the podcast page. That's different. But I'm gonna do a travel page." And he's like, and I'm like, "Should I make my personal and travel page different, or should I combine them?" And he's like, "Bro, fuck that." He's like, make your personal, your travel page, make it your public page, because it's gonna be impossible to gain more followers. And if people don't like your content, then screw them. There's an unfollow button for a reason. So
he said combine.
Yeah, he said combine them. He said don't make two separate pages. He's like, I had a photographer page and my personal. He's like, I literally just have my personal as my photographer page now. People don't like it. That's why there's an unfollow button.
Yeah, it's true. Hey,
yeah, because I have the podcast page and my personal / travel page, and that's a lot. Sometimes I'm looking at like my stuff and I'm like, wait, which one's which again? I'm like this other stuff. I'm like trying to talk to somebody. I'm like, this response like El Ray or you. I'm like, I'll send a meme from my podcast page. It's me either way, but it's like, oh, it's just like too much. Imagine having 3 pages.
Maybe for like your business, but like for your content, keep that shit.
Yeah, I mean, it is who I am. Obviously, in the podcast. This is another disclaimer, guys, or preferably females, obviously, if I'm talking to you in the future or if I'm talking to you now or in the past. If I say stuff on the podcast, everything isn't true, like Lil Durk says for the feds. This is not true. This is all made up. Half the shit is made up.
Durk, yo.
Yeah, I mean, I forgot what he exactly says. You know that the disclaimer he gives in the beginning of that song?
Oh, I thought you were talking about the whole.
No, Lil Durk, he's like, no, this is not real, because like fans are like using their lyrics now for like.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about him and like cheating on India. I don't know if you know about that.
No, I seen that. Yeah.
That's what you were talking about.
No, I'm talking about when the disclaimer he gives from that song. He's like, this shit is not real, because it's like what wrestling. I know you're a wrestling fan as well. I know you dropped off recently. Like it happens to everybody in their teens, but I know you know the basics behind it. Like Stone Cold, everybody says like the best people. Yeah, Stone Cold out there is me, but churned up to like 1,000. So I'm doing shit like I wouldn't always do. Like, yeah, is that me out there? Is that The Rock out there? Yeah, I'm sure. But you think he's out here fucking raising his eyebrows, everybody grabbing his dick when he's like talking? No. Like, you think they're being actually mean to everybody when they're out there? No, it's a gimmick. No. Like they're saying shit to get more eyes on the product, which is the past.
People don't know it right now.
Yeah, well, some people don't. 49 episodes in, that some things I say are true. It's to me to an extent, but we're having a comedy podcast like with twins or something.
Yeah.
And we're talking about porn or whatever. Like you think everything I'm saying is true? No, half of it's like entertainment value. It's like to gather more eyes, more views, and it's entertainment at the end of the day. Like, if I'm just having a regular conversation about what I did at work, are people going to tune in?
Exactly. People need to understand like the difference between the two, honestly.
Yeah, so hopefully, if you're a female watching this, this is my disclaimer. Everything I'm saying is true for entertainment values. So, this probably be more the realest podcast I'll have. Talking about because this is gonna be a relationship between me and you, our dynamic. So, I don't think I'm making crazy jokes. That's not true. It's gonna be like a pretty factual podcast. So that's a disclaimer for this one, that this is gonna be
pretty into deep.
Real. What do you say?
It's a pretty deep podcast,
Yeah, we had
down to the dirt.
Yeah, before, and I think people, we had us on before, but it didn't go as I thought it could have gone. I think it could be a lot better, more in depth, and more real conversation than episode 25 or not, episode 25 is Carl, whatever our numbered episode was. I think it could have been a lot more detailed and better, in my opinion. And I've grown as a host and more comfortable on the mic at this point, so I think we can lead better off topics in this point in time. So, I think people are sometimes people may not say it, but are intrigued in like people's dynamics. And I think everyone knows that at this point that me and you have we're close, or we have a good bond with each other.
Sure.
Through the I say morally good and great times opposed to bad times. There's always bad times or like rocky. I wouldn't say bad times, more like rocky roads
Yeah.
in relationships. But because there's people who have bad relationships with their brothers or siblings and their family. And I
Yeah,
would
but man, the rocky roads is what builds it. So it gets it going.
Yeah, no, for sure. I agree. Everything's not going to be easy, but I think for the most part, like I was having this conversation earlier with one of my friends, like travel partners isn't the easiest thing. I think that's when you can tell when you're really comfortable with somebody, even traveling with them. And and traveling with family can be tough. Those big family travels. It's like, oh my God, I do not want to be around.
After like fucking 2 days, you want to go home.
Yeah, like this is stupid. I don't know why I came here last time with this guy or girl or cousin. So even that alone, like I have I have a short list of people who I travel with or I'll be open to travel with. You being on that list for sure, and that's not an easy list to make.
I fucking hate traveling motherfuckers who complain all the time, or like
It's the worst. Or I was on topic today was fresh on my mind. On the travel plans, I can't stand a motherfucker who's I don't care, I'm with whatever. Okay, let's do this. Not that though. You just said whatever.
All right.
I gave you the plan.
I'm that guy. Not that guy, but I'm the guy who's like, I'm down for whatever, but I'm really down for whatever. I hate when people say that shit and then you fucking want to go somewhere, want to do something, and they automatically switch their fucking plans.
Yeah, so you're not that guy. I'm talking about the guy. I'm typically the planner, as you know, but I hate
or
the
they
guy.
they want to do.
Well, you broke up right there. What you say?
What?
You broke up. I can't hear what you said. Yeah, that guy who's I'm down with whatever. Okay, let's go to the Saints game. Not that though, bro. Okay, you just said whatever. Okay, so if not the Saints game, then what? I don't know. I'm with whatever though. Motherfucker, I just said the Saints game. So what do you want to do?
And I understand why I hate those motherfuckers.
And at that moment of time, if that happens on vacation, I'm like, you're done. Cut off. I'm never going on vacation with you ever again. You're done. I can't stand that guy. Yes, that guy is the worst. Or that guy is essentially the worst. So like, you're not that guy. My guy Steve's not that guy. We're going to New Orleans in October for Halloween, second year in a row. Steve's a great travel partner. And
hello, Steve.
My guy, my Toya Mania baby. That's the topic we'll talk about real quick though. So like travel partners, like I think like, what makes a good travel partner is communication. Like communication, like guy or girl, communication is big in every relationship. But on the topic of traveling, it's like with Steve, hey, this is an example immediately. Actually, I'm like, hey, I want to go to the Saints game again because Saints games are nuts. He's like, well, we just went to a Saints game last year. I'm gonna be with my girlfriend. I think
you
I'm
just
gonna
lagged out for like 2 minutes.
I said, so example with Steve, I'm like, hey, like I'm gonna go to the Saints game again this year. They're facing the Raiders on Halloween. I think it'll be maybe it's on Halloween, but maybe it's Halloween weekend we're going. I'm like, it'll be fire to go to. And he's like, oh, I just went with you last year to the game. I'm gonna be with Rebecca, his girlfriend. He's like, I think we're gonna pass. And I'm like, all right, bro, it's all cool with me. Instead of the, oh yeah, bro, I'll let you know. I'll think about it. When he already knows he doesn't want to go.
Yeah.
Those people, like, all right, you don't want to go. Just say no. Why do you have to play the game like, I don't know, bro, I'll let you know. I'll think about it.
I think it's more they don't want to like let you down. You know what I mean? They don't want to. But at the end of the day, they're making shit more complicated. You know what I mean?
Bro, you're making more shit more complicated. You're letting me down even more. Because at that point, I could have already bought the tickets. If I'm gonna go by myself, I'll go by myself. You know what I'm saying? It's like, why do you have to lie and be like, I don't know, bro, I'll let you know. Bro, you're making me more upset when you're just not telling the truth and not communicating.
Nah, yeah, it's because they're trying to like, they're trying to pull it off. They don't want to be rude or something, but they're just wasting your fucking time and they're making shit even more complicated because now you have high expectations, but you already know deep down that shit's never really gonna happen. So you gotta like juggle around it. And then what happens, right? is they'll say that, and then it'll be every like out of 10 times, every 1 out of 10, where they'll actually hit you back and be like, oh, I'm actually down, and then that 1 out of 10 time you made plans with somebody else, so now it's like fucking.
And then they get mad.
Exactly, and then they get pissed off. So
when I asked you to go to the Saints game, you don't want to go, so I asked Cam instead, and Cam's like, I'm down. Bought a ticket with Cam, and there'll be that one time, like you said, oh, so we're down with that Saints game. You're never down. You're never down. All of a sudden now today you're down. Then they're like, oh, you could. Oh, I told you maybe. Yeah, you always say maybe. You always say maybe. You don't come. So why was this time any different? And that's why those travel people are done. They're done. Like this, my list is short. And you being on that list. So so I mean that's so being on that list. We have been to a lot of places together, but a lot of the time, when you're younger, teenager, well still a teenager, but high school, middle school, what's like the earliest what do you say?
20.
Oh, yep. Was a teenager, now 20. So we've been to places in your 20s as well, technically too, not this point. What's like your earliest like memory you could think of me and you doing something together where you're like, all right, this is something where I feel like this bond coming up, or like just the earliest recollection you can remember of us?
Oh, like traveling or
just traveling, like memory, like where like, all right, this is where like what's your earliest your recollection of me like taking like a prominent role in your life?
My first recollection of like actually like starting to like hang out a lot more, I was probably, I don't even know how old I was. Like you were in high school. You were having a banger at the house, and came downstairs and you kicked me out. I was pissed. And then fucking mom came down. Mom brought me down. I was like, bring me downstairs. So he brought me downstairs and we started playing we started playing Pong. At one of your house party. That's probably my earliest recollection of fucking. I think that's the night I met Aunt too. Yeah, so I met
good possibility. If you're playing Pong, I mean, Aunt was there.
100%. I'm almost positive he knows. I'm pretty sure that's how I remember the fucking story. But yeah, it's probably my earliest recollection of like. I'd say memory, I guess, of like bonding, probably traveling. I mean, our first like travel destination was Florida, really. Fucking dad was out in Florida.
Yeah, like a Disney trip. We went to like Disney.
Yeah, Disney, Orlando, Universal. And then obviously you started playing a very important role in my life when like I started getting into sports and like you started taking like a more prominent position in like the fatherhood like role, you know what I mean? And like really like being there for me for everything. That's when it really started to like switch. Was probably when I started playing sports.
Yeah, well, one, if I kicked you out, it's probably because I didn't want you to be around people who were drunk. So
I'm not saying it was a bad thing.
I think I beat you on that one right there. Like, no, he's coming downstairs. Like, I'm trying to save him. What the hell? It's like being around like a kid and being around your parents who are smoking. It's like, I don't want to be out here, giving bad examples. So mom +1 Efi in that category. But the earliest memory I can recall would be I don't know if I was in college at that point. It had to be because I was wearing an Ed Hardy sweater. It wasn't the earliest memory, but it's like one of the ones I remember the most is when I took you like front. Like not courtside, but ringside seats to Raw, and I was like, so it was like a surprise for your birthday. And,
oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, so you were younger, but I was obviously there for like everything. That's one of the times where I was like, I can remember like jump starting like everything because I think that was probably before you started playing football. So I remember that.
Definitely was. That's what I'm saying. Like my earliest like funnelation of like. Brotherhood started earlier than like the fatherhood stage, I guess. It's kind of weird, like putting it in stages, but like that's how I think about it. But actually, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, it kind of started off with wrestling.
Yeah, so you're sweet. So you're saying that the Pong day was more of like the brotherhood, or you say like
yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's more like that's like my earliest memory of like us like starting to get close, like real close. You know what I mean? And then me seeing you as more of like a father figure and a person to like seek out to if I needed anything. Like I call that the fatherhood stage. That was more of like when I started playing sports. Like when I started getting into sports, you know what I mean? And you started like being more that figure.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, I think wrestling definitely jump started maybe like the having something to connect over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
You know,
Like the brotherhood connection.
yeah, because like I forget who said something. I think Junior one time. I think it was actually remember going to DR. He was like, it's kind of tough. He's like when he told me sometimes like, oh, like I'll reach out to Junior every now and then. He'll be like, he'll ask for updates on you, and I'm like, yeah, bro, this is what's going on with Brandon. Like if you want to reach out to him, whatever. He's like, I always think that's like kind of like a weird position because like he's like, bro, I'm like 20 years older than Brandon. He's like, what can we really bond over when he's like at 12 and I'm 32? And I'm like, I mean, that's a solid point. So like, because I'm 10 years older than you. So like if you're the wrestling probably at that point was like 7, so I'm like 17. And that's when I kind of like fell off of wrestling. I was out of wrestling from like high school, maybe picked on maybe like 17, 18 because of you. I was like, oh, like there's something we can bond over.
Yeah.
And like sports. So like what else would it be like? Obviously we live together and shit like that at that point, but it's like, what are we really bonding over? Like, so like I'm saying like kind of point to Junior. He's like, what else are we gonna talk about? Like, like that's a 20-year difference. It's kind of tough. So like wrestling, I think definitely formed that bond over brotherhood first.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the same thing because I mean you're right. Like you can't really like. You are right. We really can talk about like you are 10 years older than me, so we can't really like.
Yeah, if you think about it, like, Junior made a great point. It's like 20 years. That's a big difference. And like 20, I think when you're like 24 and like kind of example like with me and Richie, like we actually on the podcast hasn't dropped yet at this point, but going back to that for an example, he's like we bond over like travel and like same mindset for like business mindset, but other than that, we really don't have much in common. And I'm like, yeah, we don't. Like other than like fitness and like the gym and like what he just said. Yeah. When you think about it, it's like, yeah, what would he talk to? Like, so like a 25-year-old and like a 45-year-old can bond, or 30 and 50. But like a 30 and a 10-year-old is like, what the fuck are we going to talk about? how was school? And I never really thought about it until Junior said that. I'm like, that's a very, very solid point.
It is.
Do you think that may have like a reason to do like sometimes where like fathers and like sons who don't play sports or have that, say like there's like a football dad and like a son who is like just into academics. Do you think that plays a role in sometimes why like family members are just like clash and they don't have much in common or that bond?
Shit, definitely. But like at that point, you gotta find something. Like you have to find something because it's
you become like a stranger in your own home.
Exactly. Like it's hard. Like that's like I don't know. I don't even know how to explain that. Like. Because if I have a kid and like he's not interested in any sports and shit like that, I mean, I gotta find something somehow, some way to talk to this motherfucker. Like I'm not just gonna like not talk to him. You know what I mean? So I mean, yeah, it's definitely hard.
But I definitely think some parents grow like resentment to that sometimes, where it's like yeah, like that's the kind of resentment. Like, oh, this kid's not gonna play sports, then whatever, screw this kid. Like, there's examples even like in our family where that's like like the dad doesn't even like reach out to like the kid and shit like that. And it's like, what are you doing? Like, do you think that's good parenting? And like, I think, I would see that in our family and like just plenty of like, examples and people whose life would make it like who like, like a 50 Cent who had no parents or like name the athlete or artist who doesn't have a dad. I've probably heard the story. And it's like, why did you think that was a good idea? Like, I don't. So when I see that, I'm like, growing up, don't want to get to the reasoning stuff like that. But our dad wasn't there for when I was growing up for a good amount of my events. Yeah. And a lot of my sports events, he wasn't there. And there's major events in like high school, he wasn't there. So it's like. Just growing that myself, it's like, why am I going to use that? Like some people may be like, oh, they grow bitter and they're like, oh, I had no one, so I don't give a shit. I'm going to be a lone wolf. I've seen that complete opposite where I'm like, no, like, Brandon and Casey here, Casey didn't play sports, but I went to, well, she did like cheerleading for like 1 year, and I would go to like all the games. I would like, watch her cheer, like be right there, take pictures of her. Any events she had for like academic wise or singing, I was there. And I was like, why am I going to like, I'd use that to be like, I wish I had someone there for my game to score my first touchdown, my first high school touchdown, my first high school interception and stuff like that. So I'm like, I wish like, looking at the stands, it's like, oh, I wish, like he would have been here right now. So like for me, I'm like, this is going to be where I can, make sure Casey and Brandon have someone and, yeah, someone there for their events. It's not dad, but, someone, they can look up to and they know I'm going there for no matter what.
Nah, yeah, for sure. I mean, some people too, I think it's like people who don't have like fathers and stuff, it definitely like gives them motivation and stuff, and you can't really like let it get to your head. You gotta use it as motivation, fuel for your fire. Because
yeah,
let it get to your head, you're gonna get spiral of shit. It's gonna distract you. But I definitely agree. Yeah, like if your kids if you're a big sports guy, and your kid's fucking like a nerd. I mean, you can at least show up to like their fucking math competitions or some shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, be supportive. But it's just, I feel like that's most of the bond with like parents in general is just being there. Like,
Yeah, because like mom was at my my sporting events and she had literally probably know. I mean, she tries to act like she does, but she doesn't know like the details of football and what's completely
100%.
going on. But yeah, at least she's making the effort to go, and yeah, sometimes she was working, but there was times like, did you like? I'm not sure if like you noticed, but like there's always those sports like athletes' parents who are always there. At that point, like are you like do you appreciate it or you just like you don't notice? Because like even like Bo's dad was there every single practice, and everybody knew Bo's dad was there every single practice. And like with you, like for the most part until like senior year, because I was trying to get at that point give you your space because you were going through stuff and stuff like that. But before that, I was at like every single practice. Like Shine's dad was there all the time. The twins' dad was always there. Helio's dad would make every now and then. Angel's parents were always there. His dad was always there no matter what. Like at that point, like what's your thought process? Do you care about that, or you're like, oh, that's cool? Do you notice that like? Do you appreciate it more down the line, or at that point you're just like, oh, this guy's just following me everywhere. No matter what I do, he's always here.
I didn't. I think about like that. I definitely appreciated it, and I definitely like it. Definitely pushed me to go harder, honestly, because I realized that like I wasn't just playing like for me, I was playing more like to live up to like a standard, I guess you could say. I mean, if that sounds correct, but like I was playing for like. I don't know how could you say that. I was playing for like I was playing for something more than myself. Like I actually wanted to like put in the effort and stuff. Obviously, like that year when I was going through stuff, I was fucking aggravated and shit. So, but like, nah, I really did appreciate it, and everybody else, I'm sure, too, appreciated it. But then again, there's like kids on our team whose dads went, and they would like fucking beef with their dad and shit like that, and it's like, bro, like, because their parents just want the best for them, you know what I mean? And then like they're getting mad because their parents are telling them constructive criticism. It's like,
but I think at some points you were that kid.
I definitely was, yeah.
But trying to say something, you were going through it, and led to again disagreements. I wouldn't say arguments more, but disagreements. I mean, yeah. So I mean, like those other kids who were like full on arguing, like on the field type.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's ridiculously. That came to a different point. But for like me and you, I feel like it was more of just like, because I was going through other stuff that was like on my mind. So like on the field, I was more of like just I wasn't even paying. I didn't even really care. I was just like lost. So I was more of like living up to something. Like I felt like I wasn't living up to like the expectation. So it was more like,
well, junior year you felt like you weren't living up to expectations.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I felt like I wasn't like I knew I wasn't living up to expectations, but I knew I wasn't performing how I was supposed to.
Are you thinking like just to me or to your teammates as well? Because I feel like you were playing sophomore year and then you definitely had that down year. Are you feeling like damn, like my teammates aren't they also are looking down upon me, like I should be performing more for my teammates?
Well, yeah, definitely. Like, obviously you, but definitely my teammates too. Like, my teammates would be checking me all the time. Like, Angel would come in the locker room. They all knew like what was going on. It wasn't just you. They all knew. Like, everyone knew. Like, everyone like me and my teammates, we're all like, we go to school all fucking day. We hang out all fucking day after school. So we were all like pretty much like brothers, pretty much. So they all knew like what the fuck was happening on a day-to-day basis. So they would check me all the time, like in practice, in the locker room, everywhere. They'd be checking me, telling me like I am performing the way I'm supposed to be performing. And I like, because they knew like it wasn't just like a random kid on like a fucking team who just had no potential. Like they knew that I wasn't giving in the effort I was supposed to be like putting in. They knew I wasn't playing 100%. So.
Do you feel like it's like the same type of pressure from me opposed to like the Angel or twins Helio saying something to you? Or are you getting mad at me? Or are you getting mad at both of us at that point? Are you listening to anybody at that point?
Nah, see, I was getting more like angry and frustrated at you. I think that's more so because like I lived with you and like we were together 24/7, so I had to, like I couldn't like really run away from you. I had to see you all day. But like with my teammates, it was more just like that's when I really knew like when like if a teammate checked me, I already like that's what made me feel like I'm
shit,
a dickhead and I'm a piece of shit. Like that's what made me realize like okay, what the fuck. But like for you, it was more like. Because this would be like an all day, every day thing. Like I'd be getting checked by my teammates every day, like during class in school, and then after school, I leave to go home, and I'm fucking dealing with you telling me. So it was like I already dealt with it all day, so now I'm coming back to home, so now I'm taking the anger out on you. And it was just like a constant roll on. But honestly, like where all the like the frustration and shit was coming from wasn't even from any of y'all to deal with in the first place. So
it's tough to. I mean, it is tough to give that balance where you don't want to be mad. Like you're mad, but you don't want to be mad at somebody. But then, like, say, like I could give an example for me yesterday. Long story short, I lost something that I need like bad, and it's really expensive. And I don't even want to talk about. I'm gonna get mad right now. And I just found out right before Bo came over for the live stream, the UFC 211. So we're doing that on a Sunday. And I just found out right before. And I was pissed. And it's like, say if I was like my girlfriend or something came home, something who I'm comfortable with, I'd probably been like, give like verbal, like not verbal attitude, but maybe like really pissed off attitude. I've been like, oh, what the, like angry and stuff like that. But then Bo comes over and it's like, I have no one to be mad at except for myself. And it's like, but he knew I was mad. He's like, bro, I can tell you're so pissed off. And like, I didn't want to do the podcast at that point. And like, it's tough to, a lot of people don't have that like moment to come back, think and react properly. So exactly. I'm just like flipping out. Like I could have flipped out on Bo, but where's that going to get me? Like, is it going to make it worse?
Like, exactly. And that was like my year of like learning a lot of that shit. Cause like, again, I was still growing. Like, I was a kid in high school, so I'm learning life lessons as I'm growing older. So that year in general taught me a lot of that shit, like a lot of like how to keep like my feelings and shit like to myself and like how to talk to people and whatnot. Because like again, it wasn't just you. Like I'd be giving you like shit, like attitude and shit, but I would be giving it to a lot of people who fucking didn't need or deserve it. Like I was fucking arguing with teachers, I was giving attitude to my coaches and shit. So it was like. I was literally doing it to like the worst of the people who I shouldn't have been, didn't deserve it. But that's a lot of people a lot of the time. Even now, like I see a lot of people who still can't handle that. Like
yeah, like maybe like I would have handled yesterday differently in high school. Maybe I would have flipped out on Bo when he came over. Like, dude, get the fuck out of here. Like, I wouldn't have, but like, you know, maybe differently. And like, oh, dude, I don't feel like doing this. Like I just pushed through it. I mean, I think if you watch that UFC 211 live stream yesterday or catch bits and pieces, I don't think you could even notice that I was mad. But deep down, I was pissed. And I listened to a Vince McMahon podcast. I listened to a lot of people who are, you know, entrepreneurs and who've made it in life. And he was saying, like, you know, he's on the go 24/7. He owns a multi-million-dollar business, billion-dollar business. He's like, you know, you can be in a meeting right now, hear something you don't want to hear, and then 5 minutes later, I'm going into another meeting. He's like, what is me going into the next meeting going to accomplish if I'm mad? I'm gonna make the next meeting worse. I might lose a multi-million-dollar deal in this next meeting, and then I'm gonna be mad. Take that anger into the next meeting, lose a sponsor, lose this. Where's that gonna get me? You're gonna have to learn to be able to control your emotions and not show that on your face and go in happy.
Exactly. And I learned a lot of that from that year, especially like growing wise, like mentally, like mindset wise. I learned a lot of that, like triggered me to grow. So I mean, I'm kind of grateful that it happened. At the same time, like
yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was something I said, but where do you think where you learned like the lesson, like who was like that person to get to you? Because I know at that point, we were going to the gym at like every day with each other, and there was conflicts even there. And like I remember one time, I remember this like vividly when people are like, "You get mad," and I'm like, "No, I don't really get mad at all." But like I think of this example when people ask me, we're at LA Fitness. I remember the exact machine and everything. I'm not sure if you remember this. We were doing like tricep pull downs, and you're like, "Oh, what's like the workout?" Like kind of like being like pissed off. Definitely during that time, and I said, "Oh, like 3 sets or 8 or whatever I said," and you didn't do it. I remember like you did not do it. I'm like, you didn't finish the set, and you got pissed, and you gave me attitude or something like that, and I was just like, you know what? You can finish the workout by yourself. And I just went to a different machine. I was pissed. I remember like being so angry, and I was like, you know what? I'm leaving before I say something I regret. But a lot of people can't do that in the moment. And that's an example of like, I remember thinking, I'm like, I was really mad at that point. But other people would clap back or say something like they don't mean, and I feel like a lot of people have that like that trigger. A lot of people we know who are just said something they don't mean immediately.
Yeah.
And so I was like, you know what? Let him do his own thing. But that being said, is because at that point I'm like, you know what? I think he needs to work out with someone else. You started working out with Diome and Deontay and Diome and like I'm not sure if it was him or like where do you think like where was that like moment of like epiphany where you're like, damn, I'm the person I'm wrong right now in these situations, and what led you to change? Because that could be a lot to even like a lot of people never get to that point where you're like, I need to change. Or did it come down the roads for you joining the Navy? It was like a long journey.
A lot of it was the road like to join the Navy, but I think was it Diome? I'm pretty sure it was Diome. One day we was working out and fucking yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Diome. One day we were working out and I was just mad. Like I was mad about something, and he could tell I was mad, and I was like, I was just being like, I was pissed like while working out. I think we were doing we were doing bench, and I was in the middle of benching, and Diome like lifts really heavy, so we was like fucking 16, 17 years old with like fucking 3 plates on our press, like, and I'm trying to do it like I'm really not putting my all into it because I'm pissed about another situation. He's like yelling at me to push, and I'm like I can't do it, and I just drop it, like I just leave it down, and he gets pissed, and he takes me to like he's like get over here, and I go over there, and he starts like telling me like all this shit, like because he knows like he could tell that like my mindset's off. He starts telling me all this shit, basically pretty much telling me like, if you're not gonna fucking put your 100% off, I don't even want to see you in the gym no more. Like, don't even come back. And after that day, like, that's kind of what like made a switch in my mind a little bit. And then from there on out, I think it was more just like learning lessons, like slowly like putting 2 and 2 together and like learning like slowly how to like.
I think sometimes you need that. Like, I was for sure giving you that tough love.
Yeah, switch my mindset.
And I know like, mom was. What you say?
What'd you say? You cut off.
I said I know for sure I was giving you that like that tough love or talks you didn't want to hear. I know mom sometimes doing get her way, which can be in a different type of way. Everyone has their own way, but I think for sure us two were not getting to you, and sometimes you need that tough love from someone else. Like I had like this first time really talking about, like I said, like my life and stuff like that. I really talked about it. I think I gave Bobby a shout out one time. But there's always different people in your life that come about, and I feel like people come in your life for like specific reasons. And I'm not sure if that was like Diome's purpose in your life, but sometimes you need that tough love from somebody else, like a coach Nah, like giving you shit, or like Diome, or a Coach Green, or someone like that. Like, would you say like that was Diome? Like, do you have anybody else? Like, do you think? Well, you said it was Diome, but like any other examples? You're like, damn, like they're kind of saying what I'm saying, but you're hearing it from somebody else, and you're like, okay, like I needed this talk.
Yeah, Dione was a big one. Someone who always like told me something whether I didn't want to hear it or not. Either honestly was Gafar. Like he would always be like he would tell me things straight up. Like even if at that time I was texting Julian a lot too. Julian would.
Hold up, you cut off. You said Gafar would tell you stuff you didn't want to hear, and then.
Oh yeah, Gafar, Julian. I would text Julian a lot and ask him for like his advice and stuff about like the gym and like personal stuff, and he would tell me his honest opinion all the time. There was definitely some other people, man, that like. Oh, Helio's dad.
Helio's dad. I can hear that. You said, "Oh, Helio's dad."
Yep, Helio's dad. That motherfucker would give it to me. That his mom. Helio's mom too. For sure, 100%. Helio's parents, yeah, they would give it to me hard. Like they gave it to me hard. But like it was more like a tough love. Like I knew it was out of love. Like they wasn't just telling me like to like fuck with me. Like it was out of love, like for sure. And they did honestly like love me, and they did have a lot of love for me. So, and I still text Helio's mom and them to this day. Like I still communicate with them to this day. So that's how you know it's straight out of love. And honestly too, I'd say dad, because I like
dad was a big part.
Yeah, dad became a big part because huh?
You saying dad was a big part when you're hearing like we were talking about people putting you in check and shit like that.
Oh yeah, that was a big part too, because I remember like I didn't get started knowing dad more until like I didn't start creating that bond with dad until like sophomore year maybe high school, because like he was going through his whole thing, and then like he stopped, and then he started getting like more involved as much as he could, and I think like I think it affected me more from dad, because like I didn't really talk to him like that. I was more like close with like you and mom, so I was hearing it from you and mom like every day, so I didn't really like think nothing of it. And then one day dad, I'm pretty sure it was you who went and talked to dad and tried to get dad to tell me to talk to me, pretty sure, and called me one day and just started spazzing on me, like telling me like the shit he regrets doing, and like how I need to fucking like switch myself up, or I'm gonna like end up doing stupid shit. And I think that's another big part that like made me like tune in really.
Yeah, I mean, it's when it's like you said at that point, I knew that's how it was. I know you were just like I was around so much, and you see me all the time, and I
think that was a big part of it. Like I think it was just plus like my hormones and shit. I was going through like fucking puberty and shit, so I was like, I don't know how to explain it. I was going through a whole lot of like I was going through fucking hormones and other shit with the girl, and then fucking.
Yeah, man, it becomes a lot. I know, like, that's why, I was go work out with Diome. And I think that's something it took. I don't want to say it took a lot for me, but I feel it takes a lot from other people at times, like other parents, where I think, I don't know if she'll be watching this, but I think that's where mom can be at fault at times, where she tries to put everything on her shoulders and she thinks she can change everything. Because, sometimes you have to dictate where it's coming from. Like, I know at that point, I would just been wasting my breath if I continued to hound you. Like, no, we're going to gym together. I know at that point you would just been like giving me more attitude. I know you need that space away. So, you need space to miss somebody. And that's where I was like, go work out with Diome. If you need to hear it from whoever, at that point I was giving you typically rides in the morning to school. But, if you were going to get rides from Helio and Helio's parents instead, and I didn't tell Helio's parents to talk to you, but they, like you said, everybody can see it on you at that point. Everybody, like Coach Green, everybody could see it. I didn't need to tell anybody. Like, yeah, I did reach out to dad to talk to you at that point. Like, maybe dad can reach out to him. Maybe he'll hear better from him. But I wasn't telling, the Greens, Angels of the world to talk to you. And then, you know, people are just genuinely wanting the best for you. And, you know, if you need to hear from other people, sometimes, you know, you need to get that off your shoulders and have someone else try to reach out to someone you care about. And, you know, that's a lot for some people because they think they can change everything.
I think sometimes too, like pertaining to like mom, like sometimes like you can't control every situation. Like you just have to let you have to let people learn their lesson sometimes. Honestly, that's a big part. Has that ever happened to you? Like while you were younger, or you were in high school or something?
Where had to learn a lesson myself.
Yeah,
No, I
like
wouldn't.
a lifelong, lifetime lesson you'll keep with you probably like for the rest of your life.
Well, one time, it was I think I forget how old I was. I had to be like 18 or something. We we I took the car and I took the went to go drive drunk or something like that. Whoever I was with, I think I'm pretty positive it was one of my friends who was drunk, and we went to the strip club, and I couldn't like I couldn't like reverse park at that point. I couldn't like park really at that point. And left the
Oh, the
club.
van.
Yeah, yeah. I left the strip club, and I don't even go to strip clubs. This is the crazy part. I to this date I don't even care about strip clubs. Like I'll go, like if it's like the plan or something. But I'm not like I'm bored. I'm going to the strip club.
Yeah.
Probably been to the strip club twice this entire year, and both were in Miami. Actually, I was like, it was so late at nighttime. Like last time, 2 weeks. Well, the opening game against the Pats, I got there like at 1 a.m. My flight got delayed and shit. The only place I was open was the strip club. What am I gonna do? I was there for like 3 days. I'm like, all right, we might as well go to the strip club because like in Miami, it's like the clubs are like strip clubs are like clubs. That's all being said. I don't go to strip club. So I was in high school at a strip club and I was leaving and like reversed into someone's car. I like went forward, hit someone else's car, and yeah, I got got put in cuffs and stuff. I got put in like, the car, like the cop car, and yeah, I was like not. I would think it's jail. I don't know the difference between jail and prison. I think I was in the jail cell,
Yeah, it was definitely
and
jail.
yeah, like I was holding, and they called and I had a phone call to make, and I called mom. It was like the scene like in a Hangover. It's like, yo, I fucked up, and literally like just like that. Probably maybe a little tear or something like that. I don't know if I was definitely like I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna call him. I called mom, and I was like, oh, I fucked up, and I remember she came, and it wasn't because like I'm not trying to like toot my own horn, but like, I'm not like I never really give attitude for the most part. I'm not like a troubled kid or anything like that.
Yeah.
It was just like a mistake, and yeah, obviously I knew I was wrong. But I didn't like. She didn't give me that like. She didn't give me like the talk like you would get like, oh, you fucked up. What are you doing? I think it's more like just like the silence, and sometimes the silence is worse than getting spoken to.
No, yeah.
And it was like, yeah, it was like, you know, she could be flipping out right now. I'm shocked she's not. But I think it was more like the signs because I think it's the same way probably what she was thinking. Like he doesn't do anything like wrong for the most part. It's like a trouble. It's like I'm like a thug or something like that. So I think it was more like the silence being in like that the cell for however long I was in there for, and I was like, yeah, like again, I was never headed down like no bad path. But even more to that point, it's like, do would I want to do this? Or like, would I ever want this to be my life? Or like, put myself in any situations where I would end up like this, and I'm like, hell no,
Yeah.
like absolutely not. So yeah, I mean, I was always like I said, I was always that way, but even more to that point where I'm like, I'm never associating with anybody who could ever put me in this situation. I'm never associating anybody like you know, gangbangers or like felons or anything like that. But I never, like I said, never was at that point anyway. But to even more, I'm like, there's no way I'm ending up anywhere in the situation where I could do this, like tax fraud, because you know people sometimes aren't gangsters, but like they're doing a whole bunch of crazy ass shit where it's illegal stuff.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's no way I could ever be in a situation where, you know, I'll work at Burger King before I ever put myself in a situation like this. And you know, part of like my like my sentence or whatever from like I had to go see like a judge and stuff, and they you know, they knew I wasn't like a backer or anything like that, so I had to go to like I had to do I had to go to like the prison. I'm like, and it's crazy. I had to be like, I had to go to like a prison with like kids who are like real deal like thugs, who are like that picture, like those like, you know, those like comic scenes you see where people are like talking shit to the kids. Yeah, it was like that. It was like these felons who like, you know, helps their sentence out obviously as well, but like they're talking to the kids. They want to make the kids like better. They're trying to change these kids' trajectory of like being a thug.
Yeah.
Most of those kids they're probably doing this shit they're doing right now if they were doing then. So it was like those type of kids. Like I didn't talk to nobody. I wasn't being like, yo, what up, bro? Like literally, I went there just for the sentence, and like you could tell these kids were like bad, like, you know, like killers, like people stealing cars, like people like robbing people's house and shit. Like those are the people I was with in that type of situation. They like the random kids like me there who like just fucking got to an accident or something, and seeing that firsthand and seeing those people talk, and I'm like, you know, like I can see where they're trying to help people out. Someone maybe like a, you know, like a Nadim who like trying to help out the kids who he went through shit when he was younger. You know, like Irv, our cousin Irv, he tries to help out the community now and shit like that. So like, people like that were trying to help these kids out, and I can see they're trying to help these kids out, and I can, you know, appreciate that. I'm sure the other kids did not, but I'm like, all right, so being in the jail, seeing this, there's no fucking way I'm gonna end up anywhere like this.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was. I mean, I've never. You know, a lot of people probably don't even know that story. So it's definitely an exclusive because that's definitely yeah. I'll talk about that story often because I think looking in the past, you know, I've always said this, like looking in the past is not gonna change the future. There's like life lessons for, you know, a reason, but like I like to move on and go towards the future. But you know, looking back on it, that has to be the like biggest for sure. And yeah, you know, and then like that has to be the biggest, and then like just seeing something like you know, like one of our cousins' dad, like, you know, like our uncle at this point too. Essentially, you know, we know him our entire life. Seeing him, you know, go through his like incarceration and shit like that too, definitely makes me think. It's like, you know, I'm sure, you know, people are trying to get him on the right path, and he's always thinking he's doing the right thing. And you know, he has a good heart, you know, deep down inside, but you know, he's always with the wrong crew, wrong path, doing the wrong things, and you know, it caught up to him. You know, everyone thinks, oh, I'm never gonna get caught up. Now you probably are gonna get caught up, and you're affecting your kids' lives, and you know, your significant other's life, and seeing that, I'm like, you know, that could have been prevented, and a lot of people were trying to help him out for the longest time, and you know, certain situations, like I say, that applies to, you know, dad as well. And I think I learned a lot from people who don't learn their lesson more than people who learn their lesson. You know, like I said, I listen to entrepreneurs, but hearing people's mistakes kind of resonates with me more sometimes. So seeing that person's and dad's mistakes, I can be like, all right, I'm gonna correct those, and let's make sure I don't make those mistakes. This is why I was there for you, Casey Brandon. Like even with even with Tony, or you know, try to be there for Mariana when she needs pictures for like her Sweet 16 and stuff like that. Like Jocelyn and all our any family members who need my help. Like, you know, like Natalia reaches out when she needs help with certain situations. David reaches out. Anybody who, you know, I appreciate when they reach out to this, you know, obviously this seems like they're looking up to me, or like I can help them. I don't say look up, but at least, you know, they know I'm doing the right thing. So, you know, in certain situations, I might say I'm always perfect, but, you know, I think a lot before I make my movements. So, you know, learning a lot from the people, and then being there for whoever needs my help. You know, I think, you know, like I said, when Angel shouted me out, James, all of them, you know, I want to help as many people as I can help out and, you know, uplift people. So, all that definitely plays into part of who I am for sure. Which is where I was like, didn't want to see you, getting back to you, like, get to that path where sometimes, you know, like saying with mom, where like, she's always, same way, you know, she's always trying to help people out. I think we have that like giving nature from, you know, mom, and, you know, at the end of the day, dad is a giving person. So, I think that's where it comes from. And sometimes you think you can change everybody yourself. And I did have that before I designated you to certain people. And I think with you is like, all right, bro, people are reaching out to me, and like I can help out Patrick. Patrick always asks me for advice. You know, give advice to whoever. You know, like Carl's reaching out to me. Like, you know, Carl would text me, you know, and when he's going through stuff, and it's like, damn, like these people are reaching out to me, but then Brandon's not. And he's like, at that point, I'm feeling like, oh, like, you know, our bond and stuff like that. Again, no Rocky Rose, but that's where I felt like, damn, like everyone can reach out to me, but like my own brother's not reaching out to me, and then sometimes that does hurt like your feelings. You know, that's where mom gets her feelings hurt sometimes. Where it's like, you know, if we don't reach out to her, she feels like we're not appreciating her, and I can see where it comes from. You know, I'm not gonna lie. At that point, you know, my feelings definitely were hurt. Where it's like, damn, bro, like everyone's reaching out to me, but Brandon doesn't want to talk to me.
Mm. I feel like I don't know. I like ever since like high school. I don't know why, but I try to like always try to deal with things myself. If that makes sense. Like I don't like for the most part, like if I'm going through something, I'll probably just like honestly like turn my phone off, turn my like stop talking to everybody, and I'll seclude myself. And I feel like it's kind of not, it's definitely not healthy. Like in a way, I definitely should start talking about the way I feel about things a lot more often. But I don't know why I got into that like that track or that circle where like I would just take a step back from everybody else and like put myself to the side and just like try to learn how to deal with shit myself or my own way. Do you get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I can see like some people think that's best because they don't want to, maybe you don't want to hurt someone's feelings or flip out on them, and you're like, oh, it's better off to be by myself. But you got to think about it though. Like when you're in prison, what's the worst thing that they do to you if you're getting into a fight? Yeah. If you get into a fight where like beat someone up, what are they gonna do? They're gonna seclude you and put you by yourself. That's the worst thing that someone can do. Is torture, essentially. Be by yourself. You're gonna go nuts. And if you're willingly doing that, where's that gonna get you?
Yeah.
You know, the thing about like, I mean, you can read stories about like torture and stuff like that, and like that's one of the craziest things to do. Put someone in the room by yourself with no phone, nothing, and you lose your mind. So imagine, you're just like you get mad and you don't express those emotions, and you put yourself in a room where that doesn't lead anywhere positive. I'm not sure if you ever thought about that, like. Yeah, because there's like someone like bet someone like $100,000 if you can stay in a room by yourself for like a month or something like that. The dude lasted like 4 days before he lost his mind.
Yeah,
like there's literally like a video of him. He's like losing his mind.
Yeah,
it was like in a dark room. It was in a dark room. There was even a bathroom in there for him. Like they made it like it was like a room he could walk out whenever he wanted to. It was all willingly, and the dude thought he can last 30 days. He lasted 4 days before he started losing his mind.
Man, that's what I'm saying. Like that, like. That's another thing. Like boot camp was like that. Like we're in the same fucking compartment for the same 60 dudes for fucking 10 weeks. So it's like I don't know why. Like I just kind of learned to deal with shit. Like it 100% mentally made me stronger to like deal with shit and like because you're in the same room with fucking 60 other males. You guys are bound to fight. You guys are bound to get fucking annoyed with each other, bound to get pissed off. At the same time, you're building up, and then like you're starting to learn how to talk and like how to express yourself. But at the same time, you don't want to say too much to one person or the next person, so you kind of keep things to yourself. But like, you got to talk to somebody. Like if I'm really like, I don't go through a lot like on a daily basis as of right now, But if I really do go through something, I definitely like I'll probably reach out to you first. Definitely,
I think
mom first, you first, then mom probably.
Yeah, I'm like I said. I think the biggest thing too is like being non-judgmental. I think I'm that with everybody. I think not trying to toot my own horn, but having 49 different people on the podcast, probably more at this point. Some people I never even met before, and making people feel comfortable and not being judgmental and being themselves. I think I can do a pretty good job at that. So but sometimes being like a sibling, you're like, oh, I don't want to talk to to my brother or sister, but I'm not judgmental about nothing. You can always come to me about whatever. I think I will understand.
Oh yeah,
I'll process it, and I'll give you my honest opinion. And sometimes you don't have that with everybody, and you can always reach out. Because you definitely need someone to talk to, and
that's like the way I was feeling in high school, where like I didn't want to reach out to like my siblings or like talk to my siblings like that because the whole situation I'm going. But now like I don't care. Now I'll reach out for anything. Like a couple weeks ago about like anything like finances, anything. I'll reach out to you first because like I know like I trust you more with like a couple weeks ago I hit you up about a credit card, like little shit like that. Like I'll reach out to you first before anybody because I know that you're gonna give me your 100% in everything. So
Yeah, I'm trying to lead you the right way, and always trying to lead you the right way. But obviously those times we said, just wasn't you were seeing at that point is conflict.
yeah,
And
exactly.
yeah, but some at times I do. That's I'm always coming from the best of intentions, but sometimes even family members and stuff like you see like people don't have that intention, but that's where you need to know how to trust people and see the people who are meant to be in your life. And just with me, I think I always had like people always came into my life for a reason, mostly good, some bad, but even as saints, like shout out Sister Regina, always. I think I'm always good at communicating with people too, at least like showing my emotions.
Yeah.
Sometimes I was I think I've corrected it, but before I sometimes maybe wore my heart on my sleeve too much. And now I know who to trust and more who I can talk to who actually cares. But, Sister Regina's always there. My guy, Bobby. Shout out my guy, Bobby. Fox Point all day with him. He's in Jamaica right now. But Bobby came to my life for a reason. Yeah, and definitely helped me out. And, yeah, but there's always people come in my life and, guide me the right direction. You could tell they always had the best of intentions. And he still does. Still Uri. If you're Uri and you have Bobby, you're lucky to have him. There's right people. The people who really care in this world. And
yeah, like even now, like I'm kind of the same way for like family members I actually care about. Like I'm the same way. Like I only like me. I'm not really. I guess as you know, I fucking suck at texting. So like a lot of times it'll seem to people like I don't care, but like it's just I really just don't pay attention to my phone. I don't know why I just suck at texting. I gotta learn how to be better at that. Something I gotta work on. But
I think it's a Gen Z thing. I've talked about this plenty of times in the podcast.
Yeah, I suck at like even to you, like it might seem sometimes like I don't care about something because I respond like fucking 2 hours later, but like it's like whole like in my head I respond thing, but I don't respond. Like I don't actually respond. But not like if you call me, I'll answer. I'll talk to you on the phone, but like I don't know why open text I suck. But anyways, like I'll reach out to like certain like I only really text certain people who like I really care about. Like if I really don't like care about you, honestly I'm not gonna text you back. Or like I'll shoot somebody a text like randomly, like for Tony, for instance, like just to like, make sure we keep that bond going and stay together. I'll send him TikToks and shit and just talk to him. I feel like you need that in order to keep like relationships with people you like truly care about and you want to see do good in like life and stuff. Like that's what I personally think.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I would say I'm a pretty good texter. I think it's just like the era where we were in. We're like in between the calling, and we introduced like AIM, and that was like the main form of communicating with my age like group, like within 2 years under me, 2 years over me, huh?
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. AIM, fuck is that?
Instant messaging, AOL instant messaging. It's literally like anything, but it's like it was just on the computer at that point. Then it came to our phones.
Oh.
It's just like Kik. It's like everything else. But I used to put like away messages and shit. It's literally like MSN. It's like literally any other form of.
Oh.
But it's like the originator of it. So like it was like the way we communicated. Like we didn't call. We would IM each other, and so like yeah, it was like instant, like back and forth. Like everyone like at that point it was like if you weren't instant messaging, like you were just like. You weren't cool, I guess. I don't know. Like it was just part of the thing. Like everybody did it. So yeah. So I mean, like, yeah, is there times now, like especially with IG, I'm the worst at IG. You can have my notifications off. I'll message someone, I won't respond. So if you're on IG and you like if you're watching this and I message on IG, there's a great chance I probably didn't respond. Even if it's a girl like I'm interested in, even if it's you sometimes, like even if it's like Patrick, Elray, I just won't open up the DMs. They'll just be sitting there. I can see why girls do it. Probably a million times worse for girls. But
I don't know why though. On Snapchat, I'm very great at responding. I don't know why.
Yeah, you do.
On Snapchat, I'm good at responding. Like I'll respond to you instantly on Snapchat or like anybody instantly on Snapchat. Like messages, anything else really, I fucking okay.
Yeah, like in text, I respond pretty good, especially if if it's on topic, I'll answer. But in the relationship form, I don't need to be back and forth all day. We can plan for Thursday, and I'll see you on Thursday. We can hang out. But that's a whole different topic. I don't want to stray off. We can go on a rant about that. But
yeah, I know.
Yeah, so yeah, no, with that, just I think our era just was better. Your era definitely sucks. I think is your you grew up in the era where like it's so easy to reach out to you guys, no matter if it's Snapchat, AIM, TikTok, IG, name it. I think I think people are so accessible where like you don't appreciate how accessible you are. Like back in the day when I was growing up, like it was tough to get a hold of someone kind of like until like 7th, 8th grade, then it changed. But before that, we weren't texting each other 24/7. Like, so if you did get like an IM, it's, oh shit, this person reached out. I'm gonna give them like that respect to respond. Now it's like, oh god, Brandon sent me an other Snapchat. Oh, Casey sent me an other IGs. Like, bro, like I just seen it. Like, I'll get to it when I get to it. I think it's that mindset now. Like everybody, especially your age, I'll get to it when I get to it.
Nah,
and
yeah.
sometimes you don't get to it, and then you're like, oh, well, it's been a day already. They can't wait. Or I'll wait till they send me something else.
Nah, yeah.
I think that's what it is. I think it's just like everybody like
pretty much explained.
Like 26, 25 and down is that mindset. I'll get to it. We'll talk eventually.
Yeah. You're not lying, yeah.
That's what it is. Girls and guys, not just either. I think both. Girls and guys under 25, 26 are like, we'll get to it.
Yeah.
It's just so nonchalant. And it's like, bro, I asked you when the fuck we're hanging out. Answer the fucking question. And that's not a lot of people think I'm being petty about like a girl I'm talking to. That's with everybody. That's with Brandon, Casey, family members, girls, guys I know under that fucking age. Bro, answer my text. I asked you when are we hanging out, motherfucker. When am I seeing you? Are we getting dinner tonight? Yes or no?
Nah, yeah. You're right.
Yeah, and again, clarifying. I don't want people thinking I'm being bitter about a girl. That's about every fucking buddy that age. Because even Mariana, bro. That's her cousin, by the way. Mariana, my cousin. I'll text her about something. She'll disappear for like a week. And then she'll respond a week later. Hey, what's up? Just seen this. There's no way you just seen this. You're on your phone all the time. I know you've seen it.
I've been doing the same thing. I've been doing the same thing, though. To her, too, actually. I did the same thing to her, actually, like 2 weeks ago. I fucking didn't see her text messages for like 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, I had just seen this.
And you seen it the minute you got it.
Yeah, I read it like 2 minutes after she sent it. So.
Bro, just like the family group chat we're in. Anybody over the age of 30 responds. Anybody under the age of 30 never responds.
Yeah, exactly how it is, actually. That's crazy how you say that. I think about it.
Yeah, so that being said, we kind of get off on tangent and stuff like that. But again, this is going to be a super long podcast. I kind of want to we can go off talk. We can talk literally forever, but I want to talk about like more like the bond. I think a lot of people, like I said, they could be. I'm sure there's people. I think Lonnie said about her relationship with Jalixa, and I think some people can be. I don't know if I really feel it. 'Cause I don't really like to feel that type of energy, but there could be some people who are jealous of our relationship, who are curious. They're intrigued at how it began and stuff like that. So I think we do have like a special bond. I think people who appreciate a good brotherly love story can appreciate us. But sometimes there might be some haters. I don't know. But if you're there, this is how it became. And I don't think there can be anything said from anybody who would change my mind otherwise. I said before, like with girls who I'm talking to and they're like, I think it's like that Tommy and like Power with Ghost relationship where people are like, I remember Holly said it to Tommy. It was like, your relationship with Ghost is sick. It's like, it's toxic. It's not good. Like you guys love each other too much. And, when she said that, I'm like, I don't think so at all. Tommy, they're best friends. They grew up together like in the show, they're brothers, at the end of the day, that bond, and spoiler alert, actually you never seen it, so I don't ruin it for you. I know you're going to finish at some point, but something happens at the end and it's like, that's how it's supposed to end. It's like they're brothers. They're brothers, and I think that day, like I'm always gonna have like your back, Casey's back, no matter what. And so like talking to girls and they can't understand that dynamic. Like there'll be times where I haven't gone on a date. I'll rather go see you play or go to the gym with you, hit the field with you, and then that bond, to me is never gonna change. And I think where do you think like where do you feel like you said so where do you think, you said with sports, but like do you have like a specific moment where you can like feel like that actual like true love, like we're all right, like this is like different than like like a coach relationship or like other family members who act like who are there but like they pop in every now and then. And
working out, I'd probably say starting working out. You started working me out when I was like 12 probably. Then because we would go to the gym pretty much damn near every day, and then like we would just fucking fuck around with each other all day, like literally like just fuck with each other, like just doing dumb shit, pranking each other, like stupid shit, just fucking with each other. So I think that's where our bond really got like close. Honestly, just fucking with each other every day, just doing stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, I have an endless amount of Snapchats of this stuff.
Yeah, it's like literally like stupid on stupid shit that we could just do to each other.
something I don't think you guys realize how good you guys have it, because you guys have like you guys being like even Mariana, Jocelyn, Tony, UKC have every event that I've ever took a picture of, which is probably everything. I bring my camera to everything. So you guys have every like main event in your life documented and organized on the cloud on my hard drives. You have every game you've ever been a part of. You have 1,000 pictures like every single game, a video of every single game. I wish I had that luxury, which you guys are taking advantage of. Yeah, I have shitty pictures taken of mom that you can't take the picture of me playing a game. But yeah,
at least you had a sidekick.
I don't know what she was using, but it was horrendous quality. But yeah, think about yes, vacation wise, what's like your most fond vacation memory?
Vacation memory.
We've done a lot. I was trying
Goddamn,
I was doing it at the gym before I got here earlier, but we have been to Dallas for WrestleMania. We've been to Orlando for WrestleMania.
Been a lot of places.
We've been to Miami a couple times. We went there for a Dolphins game. I'm sure you remember this. Jets Dolphins game.
My funnest was probably New Orleans. My funnest.
New Orleans is so much fun.
My funnest with you on vacation was probably New Orleans. I'm trying to think because we've been to a lot of places.
New Orleans, WrestleMania. Then we went to Tampa with Jerry and David. Been to Hawaii. We went to LA.
Fun.
Yeah, we went to LA. We went to Disney World, and we went to Rolling Loud. Then we went to the Kanye concert, Life of Pablo. We went to a million concerts, but that was one of the main ones I remember. Cleveland for that terrible ass fucking. Well, it was good for you, like the USA
football
tournament, but like Cleveland for me and Natalia was horrendous, sucked. San Antonio together, Chicago together. We went to like Fresno together. Where else have we been? Definitely a couple more places I can't think of right now. Those are like the main. Yeah, Rolling Loud, Kanye concert.
Cancun.
Oh yeah, Cancun. Yep, Cancun was a fun trip as well.
It was definitely fun as fuck.
Yeah, so those Patriot games together, Celtics game. We never been to a Celtics game together. Now I'm thinking about it.
No,
we haven't. Oh, we went to a Dallas Mavericks game though, and we went to like Dallas Mavericks game. Then we went to a Pelicans game too. Went to a Pelicans game.
Countless SmackDowns.
Oh, yeah, WrestleManias and NXT. I remember this because Sami Zayn's so hot right now. I was thinking
that
about.
NXT was fire.
Remember we saw Sami Zayn versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That fight was incredible.
That was fire. I remember that. That was fun. Damn, it's hard to choose. Shit.
That we did the podcast with Jessica. There's so many memories. I'm trying to think of like the main things like that pop up in the back of my head. A million signings together. A lot of we would go to the hotels before Dolphin games, get autographs from like the players.
Oh yeah. Went to fucking got Tom Brady's autograph.
Oh yeah, that was a big one. Oh, the Patriot game, yeah, with that. Trying to think of others. That's so many different things. So we've been to a lot of different events.
A lot of shit. Goddamn.
Travis Scott concert.
That was fun. That was fun. I really loved that actually.
I was lit.
That time we went with Jerry and Dave was actually fun as fuck. That Tampa trip.
People ask me typically when, like, because they're like, oh, like, when have you been the most mad? And I actually save this time because I don't really get mad. As you would, I think you can attest to that. I don't really get verbally mad. You know me my entire life? Did you ever see me get mad like that ever?
I think we actually argued one time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like people I feel like people don't believe me. I'm like, you can ask Ellery,
We actually don't get mad. I think we only almost got into a fight actually one time.
Yeah. But this time pops up in my head do you remember when we were in the bathroom at a club in Tampa and this dude was like trying to fight you?
I was getting ready to fuck that guy up. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I said the same thing. I was just waiting.
I was getting ready to fuck. I gave him 3. I looked at him. I said, "Bro, I'm gonna give you 3 seconds." I wanted to wash my hands. That's all I wanted to do was wash my fucking hands. And this guy was so drunk out of his mind. Some random fucking white guy was drunk out of his mind, just standing there. I don't even know what he was doing. Was he staring at me?
Yes, bro. He was like hounding you, and I was waiting for like a movement, like any slight movement. I was getting ready to roundhouse that dude.
And then I was just grilling him. I was just like, yo, like, and then
And he was just
I don't
staring.
know.
I think I got in there. I'm like, dude, what the fuck? What are you doing, bro? Get the fuck out! Like, get the fuck out! And he was like, just staring. I'm like, bro, what do you want? What do you want, bro? Like, get the fuck out of the bathroom. You're done. You're not even taking a piss. You're not washing your hands, bro. Get the fuck out the bathroom.
Yeah, I remember that. Then he gave me fucking daps afterwards.
Did he? I didn't see that part. I didn't see that. I just remember I was waiting for him to make a slight movement. I was gonna ready to
And
fucking
after like
punch that
me and
guy.
you were like getting ready to fucking beat him up, he was like, I'm sorry, and he gave me daps and he left.
Fucking dumbass.
I do remember that, yeah.
Yeah, so what are you saying? Tampa and New Orleans then, top of your list?
For fun, yeah. Yeah, probably Tampa and New Orleans. Memory wise, I mean still Tampa in fucking New Orleans, but shit.
What do you think about that? I'll give a New Orleans story, we were there with Lewis, Michelle, and Abby, and you were definitely underage at this point, but
100%.
he had another ID. He had another ID. I had like a million IDs at this point. I don't know how I had so many of them, like my actual IDs. And me and Brandon, especially when I was younger, definitely look alike, and especially for an ID, same height, everything. And at that point, I think I had like a 1, not even, I had like a half. So it was like, what can you say? It's not me. And but there's 2 entrances to this club. It's actually closed down now, probably for letting people underage in. Well, they didn't let you in. So actually, maybe I don't know why they got closed down. But yeah, that club that rejected you is closed down now, which is funny because we were there the day before, but the bouncer wasn't being a dick. And I'm looking at Brandon, also going 2 separate entrances, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, he's looking right at me, and I'm like, don't try, because this dude's checking. And I'm looking at Brandon like, don't go in. What does he do? He tries to go in. The dude's like, nope, fake. He's like, nope, this isn't you. Takes it. I'm like, oh my God. Like on the Friday of that weekend. And I'm like, Jesus, Brad, I told you not to go in. He's like, I didn't see you. I'm like, I'm looking at you. I'm like, no.
I didn't see you.
And then, he took the ID. So there's an Efren Greco somewhere in New Orleans using my ID.
Fuck it.
Yeah, or maybe hopefully they cut it up or something like that. But yeah, so
I couldn't get in.
memory. It was just a different bouncer. It was like some bouncers care, some bouncers don't care.
I'm saying, how did I get in without the ID after you took it? Like,
He didn't get in. He rejected you.
No, to other clubs, like to other clubs.
Maybe probably didn't, and that could have been at the end of the I don't remember what day it was, but sometimes clubs just don't card you. Sometimes they just don't they don't give a fuck. Sometimes, like even me to this day, like there's sometimes I get carded, sometimes I don't get carded. To me, it doesn't matter, obviously, because I'm overage. I don't think nothing of it. But like, there was one time I went out with some girl had recently, and she left her ID. She clearly looks over at least 21. Doesn't look like she's underage. And the dude is like, "What's your ID?" Like, when I said like that, but he's like, IDs or whatever. Take mine out. And we were talking about it right before. We're like, "Oh no, he's not gonna ask." And he asked. He's like, "Oh, you have IDs?" And she's like, "Oh no, I don't." And he's like, "Oh, sorry." He's like, "Do you really think we're not 21?" But he's like, "Oh, if you're under the age of 40, we have to." And I'm like, "Whatever, dude." So yeah, sometimes people do, sometimes people don't. And that time they did, and they took the ID. Yeah. There's a lot of lifelong partying. But so your favorite memory then?
Trying to think. There's a lot of Dallas Mania was actually pretty fun, but it's boring. Like, Dallas is fucking boring.
Oh, Dallas is definitely boring. But that's when the Hardy Boys came back.
Yeah, but the Mania was fun though. Like, the Mania was good. A good memory. No, that wasn't.
The Hardy Boys. Oh, yeah, that's Orlando. That was
Orlando. Yeah. Orlando was also dope as fuck. Orlando was fun.
Yeah, stadium.
Ghetto ass stadium though.
Yeah, stadium's
ghetto ass stadium. That shit was. Their fucking entrance was on fucking dirt.
Yeah, it was horrendous.
They fucking lines.
Shit. And the projects were right behind it. Literally, like, the street over was the projects.
Favorite memory. The first Mania was fun in New York.
Yeah, it was cool. Probably because you were younger, but like I didn't like it. New York's a weird place to me because like I like New York, but it's so congested that I don't like. I like going to see Steve every now and then because Steve always like takes me to a new spot. It doesn't feel like I'm a tourist. We're not doing like Times Square. We're doing different stuff. But like in a situation like that, like Steve didn't live there at that point. We're just doing like the tourist stuff. It's just so jam packed. Maybe for you because WrestleMania is a big thing. Obviously, for me it was too. But like especially being that age, you're so young. He's like, oh, it's cool, like, bigger than life type of stuff. So it was cool, but like compared to other manias, it has to be my least favorite I've been to.
Your least favorite? Damn.
Easily.
That's one of my tops.
Easily. Both New Orleans are a good time. San Fran
Well,
was better.
I didn't go to
Dallas
the
was better. Orlando was better. San Fran was better.
I didn't go to 30.
Yeah, that mania was fun. That mania was
I didn't go
fun.
to that one.
Dallas, I didn't feel like it just wasn't like it was over the top. Like it was just too much.
Why? Why do you think that?
The traffic, it's not saying like the events. I'm saying like just getting to the events, getting back to the events. We stayed at a hotel like an hour away from everything. We have to go back and forth every time. Get stuck in traffic and shit. It's like, what the fuck? Like in New Orleans, you don't need a rental car. San Fran, it wasn't like packed like that. Orlando wasn't like that crazy traffic. Plus, it was nice. New York was fucking freezing.
New York was fucking. It was cold.
Yeah, it's fucking freezing.
What's their names?
Lewis and Abby.
Yeah, we met Lewis and Abby there. My favorite memory.
We're talking about strictly vacations right now.
Yeah, I know. This is tough. Like the parks were fun too, like fucking Universal and stuff. This shit was always fun.
Yeah, for me, I would say probably for travel wise, like in a destination. Yeah, probably. I mean, New Orleans was Tampa was a good ass time too. Probably Tampa and New Orleans is up there. It's probably tied. It's kind of tough to decide between. Maybe I would say the edge to New Orleans just because I love New Orleans. So that's the reasoning on that aspect. And then other than that, I mean,
Cancun was fun as fuck too, though.
Oh yeah, Cancun was fun. Yeah, that was a good trip. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, Cancun was.
That's what I'm saying. Cancun was a great ass trip.
That's why I'm saying, like, with like travel partners, like it's tough to pick because if you're always having a good time, it's just us up there. I mean, like LA.
Exactly. Every time.
Disney was fun. I like Disney was cool because I take pictures. I pay for the stuff.
I went to LA.
Yeah, LA was a good time. We did a lot of stuff in LA. Fairfax,
it was fun.
Rolling Loud.
It was a good time, actually. Yeah. It's a Disney.
I can't think of a time on vacation where I'm like, oh my God, he pissed me off, something like that. It's always a good time. Like, that's why when I go out with Steve, shout out to Steve again, like, I can't think
of
I
don't think we ever get fucking pissed off on vacation.
Who?
I said, I don't think we ever get pissed off on vacation.
Yeah, it's like, I don't get the people do it. Like, when Steve is like, it's always a great time. It's always like, oh, when's your best time with Steve? It's like, probably the next time. Every time it's good. Like, I can't, every time it's good. We never get to argument. Like, yeah, we're just, it's just good vibes. Like, why are we going to fight?
There's no reason to. Honestly.
Yeah, like me and Steve, like launched like Hawaii, New Orleans, New York, anywhere we've gone, fire. Every single trip has been fire.
I'm trying to think of places that we haven't mentioned.
About. I can't think. Yeah, I mean, but my favorite concert I've probably been to though with you, I keep thinking these people listening this far in, is probably the Kanye concert, just because. I think I have a big influence on you liking Kanye. That is probably my favorite Kanye album of all time. I say probably because it's always how I feel that day between Life of Pablo and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy.
I'm about to say you're taking it over fantasy. It's crazy.
The only reason why I always say this is because he did the dumb ass Good Fridays, where he you were definitely too young to remember that. It was only
I know what you're talking about though. You released like a song of the track every Friday.
Every Friday, and then every track he released was just the album. There's like 5 other ones where it wasn't on the album officially, like Christmas in Harlem and Don't Look Down, a bunch of different ones. But like for the most part, it was the album.
Yeah.
I would have preferred he just dropped the album all at once, and then that would have easily solidified as number 1. But I like how Life of Pablo, he just dropped it all at once. So that's the only like beef I have with the album. El Rey's the same way as just the Good Friday saga. But yeah, so. Between both of them. So, like, that Life of Pablo concert was just crazy. Steve was there. Steve's energy was off the charts.
I forgot Steve was there.
Yeah, with the floating stage. And we were losing our minds. It was all good vibes there. Fucked up my Aqua 8s. Don't know why I was wearing those shits. But they were fucked up because of the Kanye concert. So that had to be...
Travis Scott concert, though, too, was crazy.
That was nuts. But I wouldn't say that was really our memory, though. You were there with another person. So I wouldn't necessarily attribute that to, like, a me and you moment.
The Lil Wayne concert though was fun too.
I always forget you were there, and and then Natalia doesn't even remember going. She's like, I
I was
don't
there.
have that recollection of my life. Yes. So you don't remember her being there. She doesn't remember being there at all. I showed her videos.
I thought it was just me and you.
No, it was me, you, and El Ray, and Natalia.
Was it?
Yeah.
I don't even remember that, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, apparently El Ray doesn't remember going either. I'm like, how? What the? You guys? The fuck? We're in a black hole that day?
Yeah, proof that they were there.
Yeah, I have it still in my snaps. Me, you, us four. We have a picture together. And we have videos together. Yeah. So that. Yeah. I mean yeah.
That
No,
was the Kanye concert.
The Kanye concert was fire. Yeah, I can't think of it. If you're trying to think like your most fond memory, if you think of me, what do you think of?
What do you mean? Like,
If you're like, oh, you see it, I don't know, someone says Efi, you're like, that's your first thought, like first memory that pops up, your favorite memory.
Memory?
Yeah.
Shit.
What do you think? I would say for me, I'd probably I would say I'd say the one that pops up. Probably got gonna relate to football. Is definitely Super Bowl when you well, first you had a good senior season, but just seeing you guys as the team. I'm cool with everybody on the team, especially you. You played really well. You had that you tracked down that receiver who could have scored, could have changed the trajectory of the game, but you made a play on him. You were like a centimeter away from blocking a punt. Still to this day don't know how you didn't block that punt. You just played well overall, and you had a lot of ups and downs to that point. Going through your senior season, you could have gave up and overcoming adversity. To start essentially every game, and playing well every single game, especially that NK game. Stepped up to the plate. That kid was balling out that year, and he had overall his stats for the game were okay because he was burning Jordan. He was burning Jordan, but you locked him down for the most part, because NK had a dynamic offense that year, and stepping up to the play and performing well. Even after the Super Bowl, I'm not sure if I even told you this, but somehow I walked past Green and he came up to me. He was like, "Hey man, I'm really proud of Brandon. He he could have gave up the season, but he overcame and he played well. He was a big part of the team, and I'm glad he came back, and I'm glad he stepped to the plate this season." And I was like, "Oh yeah, for sure." He's like, "I'm gonna tell him that too." I'm sure he talked to you about it too, but even as Green is like seeking me out to say that to me, it was cool seeing like everybody else can see like the you overcoming that step in your life, like that challenge, and seeing you guys celebrate after the game, and there's just like a big like moment like you could have gave up and not tried, and who knows? I mean that. People may think like, oh, he's picking the football memory, but there's more to football than
Nah, yeah, for
just
sure.
like the football aspect is the life learning lessons that come with it.
100%. All sports like that. Well, fucking memory. Shit.
I remember I talked about it with Tom before because I wrote a post that morning of the Super Bowl. I remember like tearing up like right, and Tom was like, "Dude, I was the same way." He's like, "I was writing the Twins it was the last high school game, and I was tearing up. It's like it's tough. It's crazy how fast it happens."
That shit flew by. Like I really didn't know it was gonna fly by like that. It's just crazy to think about now.
Yeah, it's nuts. You missed those Friday Night Lights already?
Hell yeah, for sure. Hell yeah.
I went to see Angel on Friday. He balled out. He balled out. He was destroying these corners. It was bad. He had a one-handed catch against some kid. It was nuts. He mossed some other kid. Yeah, Angel's doing his thing. But memory, can't think of anything right now. There's too many of them.
There's a lot. I'm trying to think of like one off the top of my fucking head. One memory I could recall, like, I don't know if you remember, fucking Lil Uzi Vert's EXO Tour Life came out.
When what?
And I was fucking sleeping on my bed, and you like came and recorded me. And you started playing the song.
What song came out?
The EXO Tour Life.
Oh, I think I do remember that. Yeah, I think I do remember that.
Shit, a lot of fucking memories. A lot of stupid shit too, like just stupid dumb memories.
Yeah. I mean, I have catalogs of stuff. Literally, just.
I'm saying, like, it's too much for me to like think about one memory.
Yeah, and I know somebody has said in the previous podcast, they're like, oh, I thought you know that was a conversation that should have been said in private. And I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. I mean, why? I
Well,
asked him the conversation that we had last time on the other podcast. Someone I seen, and I'm like, I don't agree with that at all. And like, I guess it's wrapping up. Like, yeah, like I said, I think this podcast was better talking about like people can see our bond more and us being comfortable with each other, and going through stuff more in depth, just me and you one on one. But yeah, I mean, I don't, there was no off limits before, and that was a little bit more like what you did wrong and sorry and stuff like that, which it came across how I came across. But I think this more you'll see like the bond and how you see how we really are to each other, and
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think this is how people can see the real relationship between someone who has a good relationship with their brothers, especially that you said the father figure type of relationship. And there's so many memories, and I can't. It's hard to pinpoint one because there's literally so many. Like,
Yeah, I can't choose fucking one memory. It's fucking
yeah, I think it's just there's gonna be more. It's gonna be more memories.
catalogs and fucking catalogs of memories
Yeah.
to think about.
I could say like your I would say it's a memory, but I guess like my favorite gift, or when I think about something in the past, like I've received in the past year, is definitely like the first letter you got from, like I got from you when you joined, and it's framed up in my room. I'm sure you've seen it when you came by last time, but stuff
I
like
can
that,
see it, man.
yeah, stuff like that, means a lot, and yeah, we can end this podcast off how we've ended other ones with other people. You want to give flowers? Yeah, I think the point of that being said is like I think you should give your flowers, and I would like to have that documented so people can see. We can always go back and see, because some people don't know how you feel. You being the person, like anybody, some people don't know how people feel until it's too late. And I have no shame of saying how I feel. I say it all the time on IG, and saying it to you face to face in the camera for the world to see. I have no problem with that at all, and because I don't have no shame of holding those emotions back. So that being said, like, do you have anything to say to me? You have it on camera to always look back in the future. In 10, 15 years, we can look back how we were looking and feeling about each other at essentially 30 and 20, and then see how this bond goes for the next 30 to 20 years.
Yeah, I love you. I always love you. Thank you for stepping up to the plate and being the father that I didn't have when Dad wasn't there. That meant a lot, and not just being like a brother, but being like a best friend. Throughout my whole life, truly. And no matter what, not quitting on me, because you could have quit on me if you really wanted to. You could have just gave up. You didn't. So thank you for that, especially, and all the work, money, everything you put into me. Thank you for that. I love you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I'll do anything for you. So.
Yeah, you're welcome. And from my end to you, like I said earlier, I don't know how some people feel about us, but at the end of the day, I don't care about anybody else's feels. I never thought about anybody else's opinion. If I'm doing too much, because I don't think there's no such thing as too much for someone you care about. And
I think so.
Yeah, I think it's I can't even put into words like how much I care about you and love you, and yeah, no matter there's no situation that I wouldn't be there for, and you said I could have gave up on you, but I would never give up on you no matter what situation may come across the table. So I'm gonna be there for you no matter what. You can always reach out to me no matter what time of the day it is. You can literally say I need you to come to Europe tomorrow, and I will literally book a flight, the next flight out. Because that's how much, like, there's literally, I'll be there for you no matter what. I think I've shown that. And any obstacle that came on our way, I think, we have overcome it so far. And it may not be, all roads are rocky, but it was all meant to be. And I think it's made our bond closer. And there's literally, there's nobody that can interfere between that. I think our bond's too strong, and I love you, and I'll be there for you literally no matter what, no matter where you go. I'm gonna go travel and see you. Ready, showing that this year, and I'll be out there more no matter where you go. And I think obviously I always wish the best for you, always have the best for you in my heart. And Yeah, that bond is always going to be there. It's get stronger over the years, and want the best for you at all times, and I love you, and care for you like a brother, best friend, like a son, and that's from the bottom of my heart. I really I think you're all three of them in my book. Brother, best friend, and son, but most importantly, like the best friend. I can come to you and chill out over the summer when I was kind of going through something. And, I'll be there for you for all three of those for the rest of your life.
Yeah, same thing for me. I can always reach out. I'll always be there for you as well.
Yeah, I love you. And, wrap this podcast up. I'll see you soon. Follow my boy, my best friend on Instagram, Badufo. He activating.
I'll switch it up. We'll switch it up soon. So the next podcast we'll have it up and running. Hopefully.
Yeah, and follow us. And thank you for tuning in to the 50th episode of the EG Pot of Thunder. Ending it off right with this 50th episode with my brother, my best friend. So make sure you follow us, 5-star review, give us those likes, subscribes, tune into the live streams of the Dolphins games. Follow me on my personal IG, ExploreFF. And I want to thank everybody for supporting. We are over 200,000 views overall on all social medias. So everything combined, podcast streams, YouTube videos, IG, TikTok reels. That's pretty solid for 50 episodes for a regular person from the Northeast. So hopefully we keep blowing up, get more guests on. Anybody you want to see come on. Hopefully we're gonna keep growing and putting more local businesses on. Get more athletes. Shout out to Breakthrough. You have been a popular name amongst the 50th episodes of our athletes. Shout out to Stanley putting that work in, building up the next generation of athletes. Shout out to all the guests that have come on so far, taking your time. Appreciate you guys giving me your time and enjoying yourselves when you've been on. Hope you guys enjoy this 50th episode. We'll be here for 50 more and more after that as well. Let's get it, baby.